everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, and today we are back with another episode. Oh, yes, good golly, Miss Molly. It is episode 1 of the Prelude to the Tomb of Annihilation. Yes, my friends, because in only a couple weeks' time, the Tomb of Annihilation proper launches. So we wanted to start off our campaign with a little tease, if you will, a 2-week strip tease of the tomb, leading our way up to it until terrible things happen. So let's go around this, meet the cast and crew, figure out who we are and who we are playing today. So we meet our all new characters. And of course, if you are looking to find our character sheets online, you can find them here on our brand new website, where you can find out about the cast, the crew, download our character sheets and all that good shit. And Mike, with 14 months, can he roll higher than 10 this year? This season, no. We'll have to find out. But yeah, let's start with our fantastic dungeon master for the day, debuting as DM on Encounter Roleplay, Mr. Grimdack21502. How's it going, my friend?
I am terrified.
You should.
I know. I am super psyched to do this. These guys are great. You know, having played with them in Middle Earth, and unfortunately having known Mike, it's still a good idea to do this, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope not to let anybody down with my inability to skillfully navigate certain technical aspects of online gaming, but I am here. I'm going to put these guys through the JV version of Tomb of Annihilation to get them ready for a couple weeks' time when we hit the big boy.
That's sweet spot.
Gentlemen, pack your shit. We're ready to go.
Fantastic. So yeah, let's go meet our cast of characters for today, shall we? Let's get out the way. Let's start with Unmade Gaming. Mr. Mike, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I just came back from a vacation. I'm here to play some D&D. And today I'm playing Hezekiah Crowsbane. He is a half-elf rogue, and he's ready to get down to business. In fact, he is an inheritor of some mystical devices. This is some weird divining rod made of bones of different animals fused together with magical properties that somehow ties to the Tomb of Annihilation.
Fantastic. I like the sound of all of that. That sounds good.
And I'll roll only 11s and below, which is better than the previous season.
That's the promise you make to us now, here and now. He won't let you down, guys. And thank you so much for all these subs, all these resubs. And thank you to XP Chef for the new sub with Twitch Prime, clocking us over to that 2 sub, and of course, a viewer decision to start us off. We'll explain what that is if you're a new viewer here in just a few seconds. And let's go and meet Mr. Strider Heap. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, man? Doing well.
I'm glad to hear it, because you won't be soon. Soon things will be terrible.
It's a great honor to be playing on launch day of the Age of the Necromancer. So I'm hyped up. This is great fun. I'm glad I can be here.
Fantastic.
I'm playing Rurik today. He is a human paladin, and he acts the way he thinks paladins are supposed to act. Until someone pisses him off, and really he's just trying to hide this huge bubbling rage inside him at all times. So hopefully I can go slay some evil. We shall smite things.
Very cool. And in fact, it came to me frags for 13 months. I appreciate it, my friend. Josh, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's always good when the DM turns around at the beginning of the game and you're like, I'm scared, and the DM's like, me too, and you're like, that does not fill me with confidence, dude. But I'm super psyched. I will be playing tonight and for the foreseeable future, maybe 2 episodes, and then he'll probably be violently murdered. Yeah. Quinn Kalin of Clan Kane. Could you get any more season there? Maybe. It's possible.
I can think of one or two.
Yeah, great minds. So, yeah, Quinn is a druid who hails from a secluded forest, deep within the forest, where he roams with Clan Kane, who are known as the Wolf Clan. He sort of usually spends most of his time hunting prey, moving around a lot as they move from summer to winter campsites to sort of follow the game and the prey. But recently, in the middle of the night, one night in the clearing, there was a great scar across the sky, some huge comet that blazed a bloody trail, and it left this long red smear through the sky, a blood trail. And it was prophesied by the clan elder that it is a fallen spirit, one of the great spirits of the sky, and it is Queen's destiny to seek it out, to find rich new lands, and maybe bring back some ancient knowledge. Totally doesn't lead to the tomb of... No, it'll be fine. Nothing could go wrong there.
I believe in us. I believe in us as a team, as a unit. And yes, to complete the squad, I today will be playing Grub. Grub is a half-orc. He's not the smartest tool in the shed, but the shed is made from a lot of very unsmart things, like wood. He's not a complete idiot. He definitely has a cunning to him. But Grob he's very easily persuaded, I suppose, into doing things. He does bear some lineage, perhaps some rumor to Grog. They may be related in some way, but Grob he's slightly got his wits about him, a little bit more cousin to an infamous character I've been known to play named Grog. So, he's excited to be going to the tomb. Probably these guys will convince him that he's going to have a great time. I'm really looking forward to all of this. Before we dive into today's game, before we let Greg steer us away into the wondrous world of Faerun and Chult, I'll remind you guys of how to interact with today's show. Of course, if you haven't followed yet, hit that follow button and join us. So we hit 80 followers today. You guys in chat get to decide anything which happens next in our campaign. On launch day, it would be fantastic to smash through that 100 follower goal, to see if we can make it together, my friends. Also, of course, here is the tweet for you guys. When we smash through 20 retweets, you guys get to decide something which happens. Could be a good thing. More likely, it's a bad thing. I mean, the word annihilation is in the title, so there's that. And of course, you can donate to affect the game as well. You can give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. So, other than that, I will hand back over to Mr. Greg to lead us into a tomb.
Okay, Will, you did say we had a viewer decision, correct?
We do.
Okay.
Kick things off.
Let's kick it off the right way. There's going to be an NPC involved with this crew, and I would like you to give her a code name. Now, this code name, she is Elven, right? I want her to have a code name, and it can't have anything in it that you wouldn't willingly share with your grandmother or grandfather. So if your grandfather is Happus with Penis McKnuckles, that's fine. We'll go with Penis McKnuckles. It's a code name, not the real name, but let's see what we can get.
All right, what is the code name for the elf NPC underneath that line there? And chat, my friends, let's get that straw poll rocking and rolling. Yes, thank you, Wolfstrike. All right, I'll start setting that one up for you, sir. We can begin.
Okay. Well, we shall begin where all good quests begin, in darkness. The rise and fall, the mast and the keel of dreams, sailing on the ebb and fluidity of the thoughts of a slumbering yet active mind. Upon occasion, we have all had moments of truth, moments of clarity in our dreams where we realize that what we are experiencing isn't real. But rarer still comes the knowledge that while we travel in a dreamscape, that which we are witnessing is drawn from fact and is merely being replayed for some unknown reason. Poignancy? Prophecy? Only time will tell. For these four, there is darkness. An old priestess in gray. Smoke. Protect the elven archer. Fog. A quest and a fellowship formed. Blackness. Secrecy, the only shield against the fatality of truth discovered. A haze. More feeling than an image or relatable word or phrase, one that remained hushed even in the dark recesses of the dream, as if even here the very thought was dangerous. The the feeling drew from the basest of humanoid desires. Murder. But, as hypocritical as it sounds, murder for life itself. Darkness. The dreams of the four recede, drifting into the hushed tones of conspirators set to task. But it was a beginning, and that's how all assassinations of God start, with whispers in dreams. I'd like everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Fantastic. What an intro. I gotta find my character sheet. Sorry, I've been straw polling.
Welcome to my Hellstrider.
That was your hell. That was a deeply fucked up hell. Like
No, we both rolled sevens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled real bad. I haven't found my modifier button. It's not.
I got it, buddy, if you need it.
Yeah, I'm loading in now. I've just been. Dear, oh dear.
14. There you go.
For
Crushed
the
it.
cheer, Mr. Forgotten, the big cheer. I appreciated it. Let me read down a second. I'll get to the effects in just a moment.
You say you were going to get to the sext in just a second.
I'm gonna
You
get
got a
to that.
+2 on that, Will.
Thank you. So a 4. All right, I'm just gonna post a straw poll. There's like a million options here. You guys pick.
I haven't checked, so pick the ones that are easy to say.
You know what that means, chat.
Nuke me. Okay, so Will, did you roll or did...
I got a 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit! I went the wrong. Roll 20.
I was going to say, I was just going to go with it and pretend like I knew what was going on.
Yep, I rolled it in the wrong chat, but it was a 4.
It was a 4. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that then. Okay, so Quinn of Clan Cain, your eyes flutter open, and immediately you are beset with the pitch and the ebb and the flow, the rise and fall of shipborne travel. You look around and you see the sleeping and in some cases sick forms of 4 other slumbering individuals. You see a human, a half-orc, a half-elf, and what appears to be an elven woman, all asleep, sometimes in various states of having thrown up in the middle of the night. And as you regain consciousness, you feel that as well, but you're able to quell it enough to remain upright and get your bearings about you. As you look around, coupling with the squawk of gulls and the trotting of feet on the boards above you, you notice that you are in whatever section of the ship, whether it be fore or aft, where the actual ship bends and meets. Around you are supplies, flour, bags of grain, what appears to be barrels of water or some other fluid. Everything is as it would be from your experience, as limited or maybe as experienced as you are with ships, as more of a merchant-bearing vessel than anything maybe geared for warfare. You do have a ladder with a hatch leading out of this area. I will leave you at that.
So, having had the most harrowing of dreams and woken up in such bleak conditions, Quinn sort of scratches, stretches, does all the traditional sort of just woken up and feel utterly crap and desperately needs fresh air. There is like the smell of puke and probably stale alcohol and food and just people. And he's not used to any of that. It's so vivid, it's so visceral. So he goes to escape. He rushes sort of to the ladder and climbs as if he is ascending from the hells themselves.
Great. I will also let you know that none of these people seem familiar to you. As you get up and begin to walk around, none of the faces ring a bell. Their dress doesn't speak of anything that you might realize. It's as if you have all of your memories, you know exactly who you are and where you've been, but it's as if the recent past, and you're not sure exactly how far or how long that consists of, has been muddied. As you go up the stairs, up the ladder and open the hatch, you are greeted with a horizon that is jumping. And while you are able to settle your stomach below, seeing this motion put to purpose, where it's actually rising and falling and you have a stable vision, you see a scrambling of sailors as they seem oblivious to this rocking. But you yourself realize that this is a boat adrift in the sea, and the sea is its storm. Not necessarily a full-blown gale at this point, but it is very powerful with large waves. As soon as you open the hatch and climb out, you see sailors running hither and there with purpose. Some of them are grabbing whaling pikes. A few of them are grabbing what appear to be just large, almost industrial hammers, not necessarily something that would be used for combat. And as soon as you're standing there for a second, you hear, "Captain, one of them's awake!" And at this point, you see a large man, bald of head, long gray beard, come forward, dressed in a light gray merchant's jacket, usually double-breasted with polished brass buttons. It is open. He seems disheveled, and as the mist and the sea foam begin to settle on your hair, you realize that everyone around you is soaked to the bone in this storm. He comes forward, gets close to you, and amidst the gale and the rocking of the seas, he takes your eyes in his, and he says, "Tell me you're not diplomats."
He just sort of looks him dead in the eye, tries to hold down some vomit, and sort of grabs at this man, almost pouring at him desperately. His hand flexing, realizing that he is entirely without his shield is still downstairs or below deck or whatever this is called. He's never been on a ship before. He does not have his spear, but he has a flint knife tucked in his belt, and he sort of reaches for the hilt just for comfort, really, and just says, "Where am I? What is this place?"
I can't tell you where you are, but where you currently are standing is the Lady Luck, or at least that was her name before the sunrise today. Never before has she seen the colors of a pirate until this God's forsaken day. So I'll ask you again, boy. Tell me you're not diplomats.
I do not know what this word means. Diplomat.
Are you fighters? Are you adventurers? Can you carry a spear or a sword?
Aye, he says, and nearly vomits, and sort of tries to say it with more conviction. Just I fight, I hunt, I can. Once again, how did I get here?
He looks at you as if you should know the answer to that, and he says, "They're not gonna let me tell you any of that, boy." And he grabs your dress, and he pulls you around until he finds one of your pockets, and he pulls out what appears to be a sealed scroll, and he hands it to you. Set in the scroll is what appears to be a wax seal with the common alphanumerics of NDA written across it.
I don't want to open that, Greg. I don't want to do that.
We're gonna open it in 2 weeks. When our NDA's out.
You can open it now.
No,
Well done.
Well, yeah, we can, but we can't show it.
I mean,
I can paraphrase. So
And if you can't show it, what's the point?
Right?
yeah. Well, we did say this would be a tease, 2 week long tease. So yeah, I salaciously slide my finger along to the wax seal. Yeah. Oh, Strider. Oh, baby. And yeah, break the seal, and I want like a breeze for Strider just there, like ruffling his shirt. Yeah, and he sort of unfurls it, shaking his head, sort of wiping his brow, looking around. You mentioned pirates. I have never seen a pirate in my life. I've never been on a ship before, so this is all very alien. And he will read this thing. Am I allowed to read it?
You are, and I will tell you what you see. As you open up the scroll, you see very brief, very fragmented sentences written in common. And it says, protect the elf, trust your friends, trust your companions, do not try to find your memories. And it's written in your own hand and signed by you. Or at least you believe it to be.
He sort of reads it, sort of screws it up, doesn't really fold it or anything, just screws it up and crams it into a pocket, and then sort of grabs the captain and just says, "It is a spirit quest. Where are you taking me? Is this the ship that fell from the sky?"
No, boy. But as far as where we're going, well, today we're either gonna shed blood on these boards or we're gonna sink beneath them. And at that point, he turns and he stares upwards and he goes, Tom, how far? From the top, you hear, about a mile, Captain. He comes back and looks at you and he goes, I can give you about 60 minutes and then they'll be here. And he points. And since you are relatively aware of the direction you're traveling in, you believe it to be somewhat to the south.
Okay. What do I see? Does that require a perception check, my
It
good
sure
old
does.
Chult? Oh, buddy. So I look to see what my elven eyes can see. And 11, they see just Mike's face. That's all I see, nothing else. Just Mike's face super embossed.
It's just mediocrity, right?
Listen, it's
Is that the
divine
name?
mediocrity.
Is that the
Divine
name?
mediocrity.
Is that the name?
Inspired mediocrity, yeah.
Is that the name of the ship that's coming? It's mediocrity, and it's just Mike's face on the sails. Just
And that's Mike's new album. It's dropping in
What's the
September.
What's the
Divine
thing on the front of the
mediocrity.
ship? What's like? It's usually the mermaid on the front of the ship. It's just me, the masthead. It's just me, like this.
Also, that is another viewer decision. I mean, we can take the top 2 code names and put them together if you like. So a double
Ooh.
whammy code name.
ooh.
As long as it's not difficult to say and my pea brain can retain it.
All
That
right.
would be great. Okay. Okay, so as you look back, it takes you a second, and with the captain presumably pointing in the direction, I mean, it takes a couple seconds of, no, there. Oh, for God's sake, there. Then finally, you see a mast approaching. And it appears, after you're able to look at it for a while, that it is closing, despite the rise and the fall, but it seems to help a little bit to focus on something somewhat stable in this landscape. The captain turns back to you and he says, rouse your people.
He ponders sort of where his people might be right now, and then realizes that he means whoever the fuck I just woke up from a drunken binge with, and it's just crushed, absolutely crushed, and says, I shall do that. And he draws his knife, cuts his palm, and extends a hand. We are allies, yes?
Not yet. And he kind of takes your thumb and shakes it a little bit, and he walks back to attend to the defense of the Lady Locke.
Oh god, okay. So Quinn sort of looks around, acknowledges that these people are strange, that he doesn't understand them or their strange thumb-shaking traditions, but there is a threat on the horizon, literally. And with due haste, he makes his way, sort of staggers back towards the hole in the deck and slides down the ladder. And he looks around and sees the biggest, meanest looking half-orc he's ever seen, and walks over and he sort of crouches, makes sure the knife is held behind his back so he's not just looming over this guy with a knife, and shakes him gently. Brother, It is time.
Grob.
Yes, indeed. Also, so we're tracking. Mr. Fumblemall's donation was that the next 3 nat 20s, well, next nat 20 for Grob, Rurik, and Quinn will become a nat 1. And Hezekiah has 3 disadvantages to use up, so I'll be tracking these.
Hezekiah is the disadvantage. You don't need to give me more.
He is already disadvantaged enough. Mike is playing him. Grob is a, like you say, a big half-orc. Looks like a bit of a bruiser, but has his hair like tied back out of his eyes. And he also has in his pockets, quite visibly, a pair of reading glasses. Despite the fact he looks generally a bit like more like a warrior. And he'll kind of like wake up and, what's going on?
And you look up to see a wood elf who is very tan, has short, black, messy hair, that's sort of badly cut. He has a bit of stubble. He's got quite a lot of scars and strange tattoos that look like they're done the old-fashioned way. He's wearing leathers that are tattered and badly beaten and sun-bleached, but he has a strip of wolf fur that sort of stretches down his back and across one shoulder that's really old. You can see it's like patchy in places. And he sort of grabs you, having quite wild-looking eyes, and says, there is battle on the horizon. Someone comes to take this ship. We must defend it. Rise, my brother.
How do we get here?
No, it is not important. Not now.
Oh, I stand up. I put on my glasses so I can see him properly. Elf. Oh, we're on a boat.
Yep.
This isn't good.
Nope.
I had a really bad dream. I'm gonna like poke my head above deck to see what's going on, to see if I really am on a ship.
You are.
Yep.
You do notice several of your kinsfolk are also sailors aboard the Lady Luck.
Okay.
Other half-orcs.
Yeah, yes.
No, it's just one of those machines you put a quarter in. It looks like a
Yeah, I
boat.
was gonna say, like, Quinn has never seen the ship before he buys it entirely, as we're just going up and down at a carnival. Yeah, he
They have sheets.
yes, and next he sort of he goes over to trying to remember. I'm acquainted with new characters. Who is not Mike? Strider, you're not Mike. You're human. Are you
Yeah, I'm
wearing?
Rurik.
Yeah, and I'm guessing, are you heavy plate paladin sort of guy?
Yeah, any little motion you're getting out of him, he's kind of looking like a turtle stuck on his back at this point. He might be stirring a little bit, but
Yeah, he walks over and sort of and, he goes over and sort of shakes him gently and says, "Brother, it is time."
Erroneous, is that you?
No, I do not know this man, but it is time.
Am I dead?
You're not dead.
No, you're on a
Damn it.
spirit quest.
Help me up.
You will die in this armor. You need to shed it immediately. We are on a ship. You will drown.
Oh, a ship? Fantastic. I've never been on a ship before. Erroneous carries me in my armor. I'll be fine. Help me up.
Heronius isn't here to carry you. I unless that's Heronius, and he points over to Hezekiah, and he sort of lifts straight up. He's not particularly strong, so it's particularly difficult. But yeah,
You kind of have to flip him over onto his stomach. On his back, he's wearing this cartoonishly large sword, like way too big to actually be of any use.
yeah, it's okay. We're currently in the hold of a ship. I'm sure it will be incredibly useful.
He'll push himself up and stand there and kind of stagger a bit.
I'll wake up Hezekiah and say, "Excuse me, my friend. Looks like you're with us."
This isn't my boat.
No, none of us really know where we are, my lord. But seems as
Well,
though
no, you're on a boat.
we're all
I
on a
hate
boat.
him already.
This isn't my boat though. What boat is this?
Um,
Whose boat am I on?
Not really sure. My
Who
lord.
are you, my giant friend?
My name is Grob or Grobicus.
Grobicus. Interesting. This isn't my boat. How did I get here on this boat?
I'm not sure. I woke up. This one woke me up, and then he woke this one up, and then I woke you one up.
You, master of wake-ups. Who are you, and why am I on this boat? Whose boat is this? He just aggressively points at Quinn.
Quinn just ignores you entirely. And
just like real life.
turns.
It's funny how art,
Imitates life.
imitates life. Yeah.
He is too busy approaching an elven woman.
Who is no longer there.
He is approaching nothing. He walks over to this woman and can't see her.
There appears to be a bed that had recently been occupied, just a straw mat on the floor, mattress. There's a jumble of clothing and a pack. They may have given the illusion of a figure sleeping there, but you're fairly certain you saw an elven woman sleeping there before, but
we all
if she
shared
were
that
there,
dream.
she's not there.
There was a woman before. Do you guys? Did you see her?
I was asleep. You just woke me up. How would I see a woman? In
Quinn,
my dreams, I see many women.
Quinn nods and says, "I saw her too. I think she might have been maybe a guide or a spirit, or maybe she's just above deck. We should go." And he walks over and grabs a big wooden round shield and a spear. And
My friend, you seem quite agitated. What is above deck? You seem in quite a hurry.
Let's go find out.
there
Oh,
is
all right.
a ship. There is a ship on the horizon that means to do us harm. If we sink, he doesn't actually say. He's just, if we sink and then realizes he's in the fucking ocean. And
Is it
never
my
been
ship?
Is it your ship? Is
Yes.
this your ship?
This is
Yes.
not my ship.
This is not your ship.
No.
Is your
I run above decks.
is your ship coming?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
your
I'm
ship?
asking you. You woke me up.
You
What
people are
flag does it
strange.
fly?
I jump off the deck. No.
What flag is flown on the other ship?
Just one smooth motion runs up.
What is a flag?
At this point, you guys hear increased activity up front, up top. Boots are running hither and yon. It seems that there is, at the very least, with the rocking and the swaying of the ship, there has either been a course correction or perhaps the storm has gotten worse.
Hezekiah, he deeply sighs, looking at Quinn, and says, "My dear boy, you know nothing of boats. I will go look myself." He proceeds to follow Grob into the bay.
It's not a boat. It's a ship.
Rick's having a conversation entirely unto himself. I too had a vision. Oh, big boy here. You're right. He also runs up top side.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Ran up a little bit.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit
You're
there,
a
Strider.
robot.
We got the gist of it though.
Yeah, heading up top.
Yep. As you guys all get up top, it is exactly as it was explained to Quinn. There appears to be 25 sailors. Maybe 10 of them have been set to the task of maintaining the sail. I know that Grob has a survivalist training, and you can tell that you are headed almost directly due north at this point. You are heading with the wind, but they're trying to, anybody, since none of you are sailors, it looks like they're trying to get as much wind in the sails as is humanly possible. The course correction probably was a result of this, but off to the east is what appears to be a major storm. The sky is completely black. Visibility is limited to maybe 2 miles in that direction. You see the flashes of lightning strikes. and it is headed this way. But much like that scene in Fury Road where they were racing in front of the sandstorm, it does give a nice burst of wind to try to capture and use. But everyone else is running around, and they seem to be focusing predominantly to something that's coming behind them.
Plus, let us not forget that it looks fucking awesome in the background. Just saying.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool. Rate it out of 10. How epic is this going to be?
So,
17 out of 10.
so
17 out.
storm ahead and something else behind us.
Storm basically off to the right,
To the right.
but rushing at an angle where you're going to intersect it at some point, and something behind you.
Okay.
So we're going to get broadsided by a storm, or possibly broadsided by pirates. It's a good thing.
Rear-ended, yeah.
This is these. I'm not railroading you anywhere. This is all a choice. You can decide to do whatever you'd like in the situation.
I grab hold of the ship's wheel. I pilot it straight into the
Straight into
storm.
the storm, that's it.
The spirits will protect me.
They won't find
Spirits-
us here.
Exactly.
Just like
Spirits
in Fury
will
Road.
protect me.
We will need some rolls then.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Is there a captain lookalike around, or someone who's shouting at people more than others?
Yes, you see the identical figure that Quinn saw when he took to the deck. Gentleman, bald of head, long gray beard, gray jacket with brass buttons open, just pointing and kind of commanding people to different areas and different places, while intermittently yelling at who is apparently named Tom in the crow's nest. And, how far? Tom will yell back, 4,000 feet! And it seems to be decreasing. To
Yeah. I'm gonna head towards this captain guy and say, there are 4 of us here. What can we do?
He turns around, and as soon as he sees Grub and his eyes go up, he goes, oh, thank God, you're not a fucking diplomat. And he points back towards the south.
I look
I really
to see.
I
if
really
I'm-
want Grob to just put on his glasses to be like.
Well, I actually take off my glasses because they're like short vision, so so he can actually see a little bit better when he long distances. So I squint outwards at the towards the south to see if I can spot what he's pointing at.
Okay, perception check. This one will be lower DC than it was before.
Perception is a +4. Give us a roll, shall we? 17, the perfect number.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so Grob sees what appears to be a galley, a huge 3-masted ship heading directly to an intercept course with the Lady Luck. Even from this distance, you can see that it is roughly 2 times the size of the Lady Luck, and it appears to have no fewer than 3 floors on the ship, and it is armed to the teeth. Even from this distance, you can see the ballista lining the outside of it, and it is flying the colors of a Sword Coast pirate.
Okay. Despite being a barbarian, Grob has some idea of ships and the like, and say, how far out of range are we? With a ballista?
The captain looks around and he goes, what ballista? Of theirs? They get within 50, they're gonna hook us.
Right. I look towards the storm. Just how bad does this storm look?
Super fucking bad.
Super
I
fucking
mean,
bad.
yeah, in fact, the captain is splitting his gaze from the imminent danger of the pirate ship to the storm, weighing them both with equal severity. He's absolutely just as concerned about it as he is of the encroaching pirates.
Yeah.
And he's kind of lowered himself to, storm, sundering, getting everything ready for that, and battening down hatches and whatnot. But he's also commanding his navigator and sailors to use every bit of wind, to the point where you guys can hear the intermittent groan of the main mast as it catches a gust of wind that it really shouldn't be taking full sail.
Yeah.
And you can hear it straining against the sea-weathered wood of the Lady Luck.
The closer we get to that storm, the worse it's got to be for us. We got to ride its coattails, try and pick up the speed from the wind till we escape the pirates.
He claps Grob on the shoulder and he says, I got it, boy. I'll keep us ahead as much as I can, but they're gonna catch up.
Well, when they do, we'll be ready for them, won't we, boys? And I
Quinn,
put my glasses back on as if it's like a super badass thing to do. But they're like, like old man reading glasses.
The captain kind of narrows his eyes for a second as if rethinking that diplomat determination he earlier made.
And then he looks
shrugs
at
his shoulder.
And then he looks at the big like battle axe, which I get off from across my shoulders, and I'm like, right.
Okay. He goes back to...
Sorry, go ahead.
Thanks,
No, go right ahead.
Rurik's standing in the middle of the deck, just kind of addressing the ship at large. Anybody? Why are we running? We should stop and face them, and they will break themselves on our steel.
Hezekiah looks to Quinn and looks over and says, I'm not ready to fight pirates.
If we stay and we fight, they'll grapple our ship. 2 ships, they won't move as fast as one. We'll both be dragged to our deaths.
Yes. So we flee.
What is Hezekiah? Is he a gnome?
Hezekiah he's a half-elf rogue.
Half-elf rogue.
And he's wearing like nice fitted leathers, and he has like a ruffly shirt and a fancy like pommeled rapier. Who looks like he fits the role of diplomat, or at least wants you to think that he does. And he's very much not looking like he's ready to fight pirates or a storm, for that matter.
Right. In that case, I say, well, we don't want to have to fight the pirates, but I'd rather fight the pirates and fight that. And I turn him towards the storm of chaos, which is his inevitable death, looking at him in the eyes. I say, with that, we definitely die. With them, only some of us die.
I will fight either one.
Fight pirates then. Okay. Good call, Grob. Grobicus.
Grobicus Scallion.
Grobicus. Yes. Good call. Fight pirates it is.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to give you guys the option, since you've agreed to fight
pirates. I'm glad someone's
pirates.
coming to their senses.
You guys are going to be able to... You have the option of trying to sway the captain in any direction you so choose. You can go into the storm, as was earlier mentioned. Obviously, you're going to have to convince him to do so. You can convince him to run. You can convince him to turn and fight. Or you can defer to his judgment and allow nature to take its course with what will eventually be a confrontation with the pirates.
Captain, if we face the ship head on, we are much smaller of a target, don't you think? Let us turn and face them.
Uh-oh. Do you guys have me? Am I still there?
Yeah, your video looks like it's frozen.
You froze up for a sec.
It looks like I did right after, like, my wedding night.
It's frozen in fear.
It's a mixture of fear and regret. No, I'm joking.
Oh, wow.
Totally joking, honey. Right.
She doesn't watch the stream, does she?
Don't worry, this thing isn't recorded.
Wait, no one's watching this, right?
Kalashnikov, Hezekiah gets a wild magic surge. Thank you, my friend.
I'm really waiting for the donation to come in from Greg's other half. Just like
you could try turning off and on again your camera. It might fuck us, but we'd have to move them around.
I love it when
you're back on. Yeah.
All right, I'm back, everybody. Thank God you get to see me. Okay.
Everyone has changed, but it's fine.
Sorry, man. Okay, so the decision was I think
pirates.
Quinn is just like we should pilot into the storm.
Rurik said we're a much smaller target for the ballista if we face them head on. They're less likely to hit us, so let's go charge them.
I'm voting for charging right in there. It's the galleon way to do it. Hezekiah, you have the deciding vote. Good God.
Kind of. It seems to be 2-1 at this point.
Well, yeah, but you could tie it and then we do nothing.
My noble orc friend here is an orc. He cannot do math.
Fair. This is fair. I don't like the idea of just piloting directly into a pirate ship. However, it seems to be the best of the two options. How did I get on the ship? This is a terrible plan. Pirates directly into the pirate ship. That should be fine. Out pirate the pirates.
Here we go. 3-1. We do something.
Okay.
So we're all agreed. Mike said do a thing. We do the opposite.
Yeah.
I win.
That was the last season. It's a new bet.
Okay, so send somebody forward to speak to the captain if you wish to suggest that you redirect the Lady Luck onto an intercept course with the pirate ship.
I am very handsome and charismatic. It should be me.
Okay.
If you say
You said that out loud. You're sure. Only
I think you only
crazy
meant to
people
say
talk
the-
like that.
I think you only meant to say
He's
the last
actually
half of
not.
that
He's
sentence.
actually not.
You said that out loud with words and your own
Yeah.
voice. You can absolutely take responsibility.
Yeah,
for
you
this.
had enough confidence to say that. You
Yeah.
have enough confidence to pitch this crazy plan.
We're gonna commandeer that ship. Also, a wild magic surge for Josh as well. Mr. Narkovich, thank you, my friend.
I.
Oh.
Okay, I go and Rurik approaches the captain. Captain, you said they are going to catch us no matter what, correct?
Aye.
Then we must face them.
Are you
Will be a
fucking
much-
crazy?
It will be a much smaller target their ballista will miss, and then I will take on the ship.
Are you some type of naval captain? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that you were an equal appear to me. Roll a charisma check.
I love it as Gregor Tuscan who's in charge of the ship. Oh, you want me the fucking
Chevrolet
fucking naval
persuasion.
captain?
Got a 16.
Oh, baby.
You can fight if you want. We'd prefer it, but I'm not gonna turn around and face these fucking pirates head on. If they want us, they can catch us. They have to beat us and beat the storm. You failed.
Okay, how do we get me onto the ship then?
He just walks off.
Yeah.
How do we get me onto the ship? I turn to the rest of the party. How do we get on the ship?
Quinn looks for a ballista.
At this point, Tom yells down that they are 2,500 feet and closing. And just a casual glance, does not require a perception check, says that the storm is closing as well. And it appears, rather by chance, that they may be hitting at the exact same time.
Can we see the ship from here?
Oh, yeah.
Can we see its colors? What can I roll something to see if I recognize those pirate colors?
Yeah, roll a history check for me.
Hang on a minute. Those are the pirate colors of Tim Gunn. Hello, designers.
What?
Hello, everyone. Right. You do actually recognize this not by experience, but by reputation. And these are the colors of the Black Spectre. It is one of the most feared pirate ships of the southern Sword Coast, and it is captained by a half-orc by the name of Gold Tusk.
It's like gold
People- Yeah.
Gold Tusk.
The strange thing about Gold Tusk is he doesn't have any tusks, so the name seems to be referring to
that is
something
strange,
else.
isn't it?
So I see we fight him just on fraudulent charges. At the
Yeah,
very
it's just based on.
Right. Right.
My
Okay.
notes my notes say doesn't have gold tusks or any tusks.
Yep.
Right.
Also, do you want me to read these wild magic surges out, Greg?
Yes, please. I don't have the ability to do so.
No worries. I've thrown him in the Zoom chat for ease of use for the future. Mike, his weapon appears to be made of diamond.
That doesn't suck.
Fuck, what is this game? Is this Karma from Middle-earth? And Josh's clothes appear 10d10 centuries out of date.
53.
They appear 53. He is so out of fashion. It's come back,
back in
round
fashion.
into
He's come
fashion.
Those must
Josh
be the
looks like
fashion
Josh.
police. They're coming after you.
That is so very fashion forward.
So
Right.
as soon as Strider, sorry, what the hell's your character's name? Rorik. As soon as he gets back from telling the captain, Hezekiah looks at everyone and says, I changed my vote. It turns out that those are the most terrifying pirates I've ever seen in my life, or heard of in a book, or etc., etc. Let's fight the storm.
Well, they are
I will
coming
defeat
towards us.
either, but think of the glory of taking down a famous pirate.
Well, I would say I would strap you to the masthead with your giant sword out, and you can pierce the storm. How does that sound?
Genius, let's do it.
Perfect. Lash of rope, please.
I'm
And he
not
just shouts to
too
no
sure
one as
about
if
this.
someone on the ship's going to answer to him.
As you guys are doing all of this, the closing of the Black Spectre has now decreased distance to 1,000 feet. At this point, you can see that they are manning 2 ballista off the side of the ship. Of facing the Lady Luck. And as the ballistas are gearing up, you can actually see who could only be Gold Tusk striding along the deck, and what appear to be no fewer than 60 pirates readying to come across on gang ropes and through the mastheads themselves, as they appear to be completely content with doing this maneuver and this mission of piracy in the middle of what is appearing to be a hurricane.
Yeah, these guys are badasses. I'm gonna grab our ballista, I suppose, and start getting some ranging shots.
We don't have one.
We don't have a ballista.
That would be great if we had
Oh, we
one.
don't have a
We're on a merchant
In
ship.
Do we
that
have
case-
anything? Do they have
Yeah, do
anything
we have
for
any
themselves?
kind of,
Cannons or?
No, you can see that the sailors are
fucked.
arming themselves with what appears to be fishing implements, whale harpoons, basically seal mallets, other disgusting conventions of the time, but nothing that even looks like armor is being produced. There are no siege weapons, a ballista or catapult capabilities. The Lady Luck is a merchant ship, and she is getting run down.
In that case,
Definitely a logistical oversight on part of their captain.
I will. I'm going to like grab rigging, grab rope, just anything I can do to make this thing go faster is now Grob's job, because if we get in a fight with these guys, we're fucked. Like this, we're going down. So yeah, and
Okay,
I also
yeah.
want to know if there's an emergency escape boat.
Yeah, there appear to be two longboats. They
Okay.
they look to be more used
That
for, yeah, traveling or carrying ferrying supplies from a low draft harbor to a shoreline. But oh yeah, they look seaworthy.
Okay.
Um,
And thanks so
For
much
no
to
apparent
Kira
reason.
for that huge host. Thank you, Kira. How you doing? We are in the middle of a storm on a ship, getting attacked by pirates. If you guys don't follow Kira already, you can check her out here on the Twitches and the Twitters. Thank you so much, Kira. We are just starting the session, so you guys are coming in at a fantastic time.
Okay, so
What's good,
as you get over there, give me an athletics check to see just how
shall.
much Grob's going to be able to help out with some of these stronger pools. You are basically fighting against a hurricane at this point.
Ooh, 23.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's not bad.
Glasses are on,
Okay.
baby.
So at one point, several of these sailors are running around and they're pulling rigging and just spinning around the different spools and trying to tighten the mast. And at one point, they abandon one of the wheels to go work on one, while Grob uses his entire strength and does the other. So the masthead is being pulled by 5 sailors on one wheel and Grob on the other, as he is Conaning this thing around, keeping it in check. They're basically working off of his strength. He pushes, they release a little bit to kind of keep the sails counterbalanced, and it does buy you a couple extra minutes, as it appears that you pull ahead slightly and then adjustments are made, and what appears to be a magical assistance gifted to the Black Spectre, which increases its speed. At this point, everybody that is not manning a sail apparatus or helping in that respect can see that they are loading what appears to be breaching lines onto these large grappling hook crossbow bolts in the ballista.
And how far away are they?
They are increasing now. They are less than 500 feet.
Okay.
Range, as given by the captain, should be about 50 before they can fire these things. Range for you all that have long-range
Magic,
weapons
cool.
is whatever your max range happens to be. So if you're within 500, let me know. The next stopping point will be 350. So, anything
How-
else? Anybody else doing anything to prep?
How long? So, basically, from where we are right now, obviously we're moving at quite a pace. They're moving at quite a pace. If we were to take the exact position we're at right this second, how long would it take them to get to the position we're currently at? Obviously, we'll have moved on by then, but how long will it take?
They're not moving directly behind you. They're moving almost off to the side so they can get an angle for their side-firing ballista. So they're not right behind you. They don't travel in your wake, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. With regards to that, how long until they would be sort of parallel to where we currently are?
10 minutes max.
Okay, right. So we've still got some time. So Quinn goes and finds the captain, and he looks at the captain and sort of puts a hand on his shoulder and just says, "We need to go into the storm."
Are you crazy? We'll surely die that way. Roll a charisma check for me.
He
We have
sort
to,
of
we have to kill this
yeah.
guy.
He looks at the man and says, "You either put your hands in the you either put your life in the hands of Mother Nature, or you put your hands in the life in the you put your life in the hands of a pirate." And was this persuasion? Oh, nailed it. Got -1 to persuasion. I am really good at socializing.
What's the man?
Who's manning?
Oh wow.
Oh wow!
This
You just
guy's-
mic'd that roll so hard. Greg, who's manning the helm?
It appears to be the second in command,
Okay, and how
Yeah,
far
not-
away is he from the captain?
within shouting distance.
Okay.
Despite the storm, the Lady Luck's not very big.
Sure.
Total complement of about 25. So
Sure. And is he like keeping it steady, like skirting the edge of the storm? Is that what's going on here?
he's correcting rudder to match sail strength. So he's basically the driving of the boat is coming from the sails at this point. He's just correcting as Grob and he's the tiller man at this point. He's just working the rudder. So yeah, he's a reactionary movement at this point.
So playing off of what Quinn, because he likes now Hezekiah likes Quinn's idea way more than the previous idea, which is immediate death by sword. He's a good swimmer, so he figures he can outswim the storm. Worst case scenario. So he's gonna make his way to the helmsman and just sort of casually stand there, and then move his fingers a little bit, and he's going to summon his invisible mage hand and crank the wheel towards the storm.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so will you go up there? Just roll me let's do it just a straight dex check to see if you can get up there. And if this guy's paying attention, he's really not. But
Sure, I have sleight of hand if you want that.
yeah, give me a sleight of
yeah.
hand. Since it's not really your hand, but that's fine.
11. So I'm still on par with my 11s.
Okay, good. Okay, so you get up there, and as soon as you get onto the deck level with the navigation, he's working the wheel, and he kind of looks at you as if, were you here to bring him a message, or? But he's
Nope, I
keeping
just
his
stand
eyes-
there. I just stand there awkwardly.
Okay. As soon as the hand grabs the wheel, it does gain purchase, and it does spin the wheel, or start to anyway. But being a helmsman in what is essentially a gale-forced hurricane wind, he's been accustomed to these grabs of the rudder, and he's able to keep it from fully turning and spinning out of control, and he's able to stop it with both knee and with his arms. And he's straining against it, and he turns around and he goes, "I could use some help."
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes. And he is going to go over there and put hands on it and spin it the way that he intended to spin it in the first place, towards the storm.
Okay, roll a strength check for me.
Yay.
Or athletics. Athletics.
Same number.
Okay, so as you're starting to spin it the other way, he goes, "The other way!" As
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. And he begins turning it with the helmsman.
Okay, he corrects it and he kind of turns and looks at him for a second and gives him the nod, like maybe you're a better use elsewhere.
Yes, I'm not a helmsman at all. It's just convenience I was here. Crazy storm, isn't it? And then he huffs and walks away.
Okay, at this point, we are within 100 feet of the enemy. They are loading up. You can see them getting ready to come across. And anything that you guys would like to do to them at this range? If not, we are going to start.
I am going to. Yeah, that did not go to plan. So he's going to walk over to the edge of the ship, sort of hold on tightly, and look over sort of the edge of this pirate ship, look up at their sails. And he's going to put his hands together, and sort of between his palms, you see a flicker of light that builds into heat as he slowly coaxes the power of the sun between his hands. And I am going to create a flame sphere and begin directing it straight at their sails, because fuck these guys.
Right. What's the distance? What's the range on that?
Not very far, but I can move it per turn. So just 60 foot. So I make it 60 foot away, but in front of them, and I'm going to sort of push it forward, and hopefully, I'm waiting for basically their ship's sails to just push through it and hold it in place, setting fire to all of their sails.
Okay, so you're going to basically cast it stationary, put it on a collision course with them. Okay, it pops up. You hear the yelling. They're so close now that from the three-masted crow's nest, you hear 3 screams of an attack being launched. As it's coming closer, you realize that they are not adjusting course at all. It hits the sails and disperses against the full bulge of the sail that is kept with wind. Though you can't see this, and your speculation might be that they are defended against such tactics by some type of enchantment.
These are worthy foes. We might all die. The anticipation is killing me.
Okay, at this point, you guys see 2 large ballista shots fire across the decking. You see 2 sailors who are, one of them working the wheel opposite of Grob, one of them just carrying something to the captain, get blasted off the other side of the ship. The hooks fall into the sea, and then you see them drug up and latch onto the railing. At this point, the Lady Luck groans. The wheel that Mike was getting ready to manipulate goes crazy as it is being drawn back towards the Black Spectre. At this point, you guys can see that in the rigging of the enemy ship, they are beginning to swing over, and some of these crazy bastards are running along the berthing lines into the ship. You can do whatever you would like to defense against them. The sailors of the Lady Luck have taken up positions along the side of the berthing ropes in an effort to try to keep them from gaining foothold on the decks, but it is very evident that they are outnumbered and outclassed.
Hezekiah makes his way back down to where Rorik and Grobicus are.
Yeah.
He looks to Grob and says, "Now, my astute half-orcish friend, there is a captain on board that ship named Gold Tusks. I believe he has
What?
gold tusks.
No, I don't think
He is a half... No, he's a half-orc as well, and I feel like he will challenge you directly in combat.
Well, we don't know
And if you
each
kill
other.
him, you take his ship.
Oh, you mean I'd have to fight him?
If you fight him and win, you can take his ship, I heard. I think that's the pirate code.
I will fight him. Unless you
it's
know
an-
him,
oh,
of course. Orcs
it's a
know each
It's
other,
a
don't
half-orc
they?
thing. It's a half-orc thing.
Oh,
You
yes,
wouldn't
all
understand.
half-orcs know each other. I forgot.
I don't think that's a thing. If I
No, I think it's a pirate thing. It's a pirate half-orc thing.
pirate half-orc thing. Oh, it might be.
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
know anything about that, Greg? In my culture.
That this is an absolute bullshit thing he's saying to you. I mean, roll a deception check, Mike.
Okay.
You've heard about this.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you've heard something about this. You're not exactly sure where. I mean, it certainly wasn't in like half-work school or anything.
Right, yeah.
But you maybe heard tell in a tavern.
But
Somebody
you skipped the half-orc pirate classes. You just went to half-orc
that school
school.
that all races must go to for their own race only. That's
Right.
That's the future I want to live in. Yeah, so
D&D racism. Yep.
so,
Separate but equal facilities.
So I'm gonna say, I might have decided a little about that, but I'm not really. You know, I'm looking between me and the ship, big scary Gold Tusk, and I'm like, well, if it comes to that, I could try, but I mean, we need to get into that storm to escape them.
Okay, you guys, at this point, you hear screams coming from behind you as the Lady Luck sailors begin to fall, and there are guys arrow flinting across and taking the deck.
You're right.
At this point,
I just saw something.
I've already rolled 3 times.
You've rolled your disadvantages already. Oh,
History, sleight of hand, and athletics.
damn.
That's true.
Nice.
I
got
I
excited.
look to Hezekiah, and Quinn sort of grabs Hezekiah and just says, "You own a ship. Can you pilot a ship?"
No, I just own the ship. It's a family ship.
Can you pilot a ship?
I
and
can
then-
steer a wheel, I assume. I tried it a minute ago. It didn't go so well.
Well, allow me to help you. And
Okay.
Quinn rushes up and just says to the guy at the helm, just saying, "You are no longer needed at the helm. This man is taking over."
roll a charisma check for me. Or intimidation, or whatever you think would get this guy off the wheel.
Whatever would get this guy off, eh? I roll performance.
This should. I'm lowering the DC for this job.
Roll sleight of hand, Jack.
Yeah. I'm gonna intimidation of 12. It's not terrible.
He gives you I'm manning my post until the captain tells me otherwise.
Cool. In which case, Quinn just sort of basically looks like he's suddenly crippled by pain, collapses onto sort of like hands and knees, and he lets out a guttural sound. And as Quinn stands back up, he grows considerably as Quinn turns into a fucking brown bear in this guy's face and just snarls at him.
Okay, at this point, I am going to say that as he watches the druid with the ancient yet slightly retro and refab clothing tear off of him and become a fucking brown bear, the wheel is yours. As he screams and runs down the opposite staircase.
It's a sea bear.
Hezekiah starts to follow the helmsman, confused as to why there's a giant bear now and terrified of bears.
I grab Hezekiah like as gently as physically possible when grabbing Mike with a bear. So if you want to make me roll damage, I mean 2d6 plus 4. I'm not saying
Maybe he goes off the edge.
Maybe.
You're saying I can have you kill Mike right now?
Yeah,
That's what I'm hearing.
Maybe Mike dies immediately. Did you say assassin? So you like paw out at him, and he says, "Okay, well, I'm going to helmsman now, bear. Please do not eat me."
Okay.
The bear is going to just hold this deck around Hezekiah. Anyone comes up here and disputes it, they argue with a bear.
Okay. What are the other two doing?
I just wanted to add really quick then. I think Hezekiah's idea is good, and I'm getting bored. So you said that the captain on the other side of the ship was like, we can actually see him now, right?
Yeah, you can see him. He's striding up and down the deck. You know, you can't hear exactly what he's saying, but it just seems to be, general pirate bluster and encouragement.
Okay. I'm gonna run over to the side and point my finger at him and yell, "Gold Tusk, fight me, coward, 1-on-1." I'm gonna cast my compelled duel on him.
You're not a half-orc.
He has to roll a wisdom.
1v1 me outside, fool.
Or else he has to come and fight me.
1v1 me on shipment.
What's the range on that?
The range is only 30 feet, but if we are like roped up together, I'm not sure if he's within range.
I will tell you this, maybe in a round or two he will be. As of yet, the birthing ropes are still too far away for that to take effect.
Are these ropes cuttable?
They are. They appear to be. They don't appear to be like steel clad or anything like that. They appear to be just thick, twined rope.
Then I go with
If he does get that close, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Until then, I'll probably try to cut some of these ropes, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm gonna say to Rurik and say, "Let's hold him off," and I'll get my my great axe and just try and delay tactics as much as possible as we're headed towards this storm. By cutting
I think now would be the perfect time to roll some initiative.
Oh baby. Oh baby. My initiative bonus is a +3. Kind of dexterous. Very harmful.
I got a 13 on mine.
That'll be a. Oh no, it's a nat 1. It's a nat 1. My nat 20 becomes a nat 1. Thank you.
Ooh, my nat 20 stays a nat 20.
God damn it. I got
okay, so nat 1 for
crushed.
Grob.
I guess I'll just go last.
I felt so good about that.
I guess I'll just be like every other half-orc.
Apparently I rolled 104.
That is.
Yeah, Josh. I think it was about 10 too many D20s.
Yeah.
Just
100 more than you're looking for. Nice.
Okay, so I have in order of you guys. Mike, what'd you get?
I got a 9.
Okay, so I got with you guys. It's going Strider, Josh, Mike, and Grob, otherwise known as Will.
Same thing.
I'm rebranding,
Ultimately the same thing.
It's the day for it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so as you guys are kind of going around and you have an idea of what you want to do, Grob is taking his axe out, getting ready to maybe attack some of these birthing ropes. We have Hezekiah going up to the top to take man the wheel. We have a fucking bear getting the stairs and a paladin who's picking a fight. the pirates begin to land on the deck. At this point, the sailors of the Lady Luck pull away from the railing, realizing that it's in their best interest to just circle up and survive as long as they can. At this point, each of you, with the exception of Hezekiah, have 2 pirates on each of you. There are reinforcements coming, but on this round there are 2. They took their round to get to you. Their action and movement were considered dash. So as they land in front of you, you are now faced with these guys. They did get between Grob and the rope. So we will skip down to Strider. What would you like to do? You have 2 gentlemen in front of you.
Okay, very first thing I'm going to do is throw the Vengeance Paladin gets a Hunter's Mark, so I'm going to throw that up on one of these guys. I'm going to attack the one right in my face. And then I'm just going to swing my sword, laughing, having the time of his life.
Okay. So what's that? You're going to go Vengeance with 1?
Yeah, the Vengeance Paladin gets Hunter's Mark, so I used a bonus action to cast that on the
On the
first
one you're not attacking, correct?
On the one I am attacking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it gives me an extra d6 of damage if I hit him, which it does not look like I do. I got an 8.
Nope, you did not hit him. So as the great sword goes wide, the pirate is able to keep his balance. I will also let you guys know that after this is our first physical attack against somebody, you will all be rolling with disadvantage, with the exception of Hezekiah, who has proficiency in acrobatics. This is on a rocking ship in a hurricane. You guys aren't used to this.
Guys, I built my character right.
For now.
Did it right this time.
Right. Okay, Josh, you're up.
So what I'm hearing is we have an excuse to do badly, and Mike it's going to be even more embarrassing when you fail.
No, I feel bad again.
So yeah, he's just going to sort of wait to challenge anyone who comes up. I presume someone rushes towards...
Yep, you have 2 in range.
Cool. I'm going to go up and try and embrace the first one.
With a bear hug.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is, I'll just roll 2d20, and these are with +5s on them. Wow. A 7. A 4 and a 2. Nailed it.
Okay. Again, these guys are moving with a speed and a dexterity that befits years or maybe even decades upon the sail and upon the boards, and they are able to evade the bear. Mike.
It's okay. It's okay. I have multi-attack, so I nat 1 for my second attack. Hey! Kill me now.
Okay, Mike, what are you going to try to do?
I don't know why Josh aggressively picked the weakest person to man the helm, but I'm gonna man the helm.
Because that means you don't have to
fight. Yeah.
fight.
I have a -1 to man the helm. We're crashing into that ship. So I assume I'm going to roll strength to try to wrench this boat free of the
Yes.
hooks.
Now, you do get to roll with advantage if your intent is to pull into the Black Spectre.
I believe I was told to pull into the storm, so I will be pulling into the storm.
Okay, so that's slightly away from, so give me a strength check. Nailed it. The Black
5.
Spectre gets closer.
Guys,
Grob,
if I was pulling into the Black Spectre, we would have crushed it.
Right. You would have.
God damn it.
All right,
So-
Grob, what do you got? You got 2 guys in front of you. They're a little bit intimidated by the fact that they're fighting a half-orc with spectacles on, but it's a
wouldn't be.
rarity and a strange sight even upon these, the Faerun seas.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, Grob is reluctant to give in to his darker side, I suppose, the side which his race are known for. But he does nonetheless, seeing as his life is in danger, and therefore, yeah, why not? Let's do a rage. Let's do a little rage action.
we'll rage out. So you're rolling straight rolls then.
Yeah, straight rolls, and I will attack the nearest one with my great axe for a natural 1.
Believe it or not,
Yeah.
that misses. And as it strikes the side, the fear and the confusion, or maybe the novelty of the half-orc with the glasses soon fades as the toothless or gold-capped smiles of the pirates begin to extend as they realize that they have the upper hand in this fight so far.
I've been given Mike's luck, apparently, and Mike's gotten mine.
Right.
I rolled a 5, Will. I still have
That's
my
so
own
good
luck.
for you.
He's a contagion. It spreads to the rest of us.
It's true.
All right,
welcome.
Strider. We'll jump back to Strider as the pirates get at the top of the second round. The pirates get their 2 attacks, each coming at you with sabers. 10 will not hit you, and a 6 will not hit you. We will skip over to Josh, who's 2. Take a swipe at him. Will an 18 hit your bear?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that hits the bear.
Okay, that's 3 damage.
That bad good.
And
Also,
we got a 20 for 2
5.
damage.
I think the
5
code
damage.
name, by the way, for that previous viewer decision was that one lady and penis knuckles.
Penis
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 Knuckles.
knuckles. Yes,
I'm
you're
gonna
right.
go with that one lady, or maybe even I'll abbreviate it to one
It'll be
lady.
that one
One
lady,
lady
penis.
McKnuckles.
Can
That's one
that
penis.
be, can it be her super
That
edgy
one
she-
penis.
Singular.
That one, yeah, that one lady penis.
That one lady
Yeah,
penis.
that's it, right?
Yep.
Okay,
That's it.
we got
It's
it.
a specialty bar in Chult.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh god.
A lot of people go there for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 5 total to you, Josh. And Grub.
Yes.
9's not gonna hit him,
Mine's not gonna hit me.
and a 12's not gonna hit you, right?
Sure ain't, bitch.
Okay, everybody's rolling like,
Grub
oh
doesn't
shit. All right, so once again, we go to Strider. You now have 2 guys in front of you. They are as equally and as inept as you are so far. Make them pay for it.
You are all terrible. I will show you how it's done.
Roll as bad as me.
I'm gonna cast a Shield of Faith on myself too. It's a bonus action. I get 2 added to my AC. It's not that their attacks aren't hitting; it's just that they're not doing any damage. I got this big, thick armor.
Gotcha.
And then
gotcha.
yeah, then I'm gonna swing
that-
at him.
The Shield of Faith concentration, though, right? Would that drop Hunter's Mark?
It will.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it? I'm gonna be aggressive. I'll keep Hunter's Mark up. Okay, thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
I will keep my AC low, and I roll with disadvantage.
Thanks so much, Zode, for subscribing to
13
Twitch
and then that
Prime.
one.
Drinks and
Yep.
chat, boys.
So, well, no, yeah, with a 13, you will be lucky to know that you hit. So go right ahead.
You said I had disadvantage though,
Yeah, but that's
because of the boat,
yeah, but
and
the
then I
first
rolled a nat 1. after
No,
that.
you roll those. So you see the 2 rolls.
Oh,
13
Yeah.
and 17, lowest of the 2. You got the 13.
sorry.
so,
Yeah, okay.
Nope, yeah,
Yeah.
you got it, man. Roll your damage and then make sure to add your Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
Thank you, Zode.
Oh,
I
no,
appreciate
no,
it.
The right
You
one.
just click on where it says
Yep.
great. Yeah.
There you go, brother. 8.
It's because
I'm
it's
gonna
24 damage is insane. Oh.
I'm gonna roll a D6 for the Hunter's Mark too. 4, so altogether we have 12 on that guy.
How would you like to kill this scurvy bastard?
Ooh. Give him some vitamin D, if you know what I mean.
Running him through with this, my sword's like this wide. Run him through the abdomen and then flip him off into the ocean. Nothing he can do about it.
Okay,
His weight just pulls him off the end.
as you are doing that and you let him slide off, I will give you a chance because you have not used a bonus action yet this round, correct? You kept Hunter's Mark up, which doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not.
Is your challenge that you are able to issue, is that a bonus action?
Let me check here.
I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure.
It is, yes.
Okay, I will allow you to give it a shot.
He has to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
he
yeah,
has a-
you're as long as it's a bonus action, though, you are within
Okay.
distance.
He has to
from
roll
this.
11.
Nailed
DC
it.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the best, but
I really want him to fail.
me
That
too.
would be something, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be indeed. Oh!
Does he have a -1 to wisdom?
He does not. I checked. So,
Damn.
yep. So he's able to. For a second, you think, oh, this big bastard's coming across here, and he stops for a second and then pulls back and raises a gnarled knuckle and gives you the. Josh, what
He
would
is
you like to
afraid
do?
of me. Ha!
It's not
The-
penis. It's not a penis knuckle, is it?
It could be. From this distance, you can't be sure.
Okay. Alright.
It might be worth investigating.
I know. Bear. I like the idea of like the bear and Rob like in a reading club. just like investigating and researching both of the little spectacles on. We'll do some research on this later on.
Absolutely.
Paddington Grob, yeah.
Paddington Grob. He's going to go for these two guys. So the first one, that's a 10 to hit, which I presume is fail.
That will miss, but you do have a multi-attack, as you mentioned before.
I do. Good for absolutely nothing. Yeah,
As the swipes of these brown bears continue, these guys seem to have gauged your level or ability to reach them, and they are just dancing in and out of it. Mike, at this point, you can try again if you would like, but the DC has increased.
Good, just like everything else in my life. Does it look like Quinn and Quinn Bear is doing well with the guys that are approaching? They're not getting past him?
You don't have to roll, but you can tell that he is outclassed at this point.
Okay, cool.
But are they focusing on me as opposed to him?
Mm-hmm. As of these
All
two are, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Does it look like anyone else is getting to me relatively quickly, or anytime soon?
If you want to roll a perception check, you can.
Yeah, I kind of want to see if there's anyone.
Passively, you don't see anybody coming. But if
Okay,
you
well,
wanna actually look for it-
my active roll is also my passive roll. So, yeah, so I don't see anyone coming. I will just crank on that wheel again and see what happens.
All right.
Let's see here. Oh, good. Nailed
Holy
it.
shit. Okay.
10 out of 10.
Okay, at this point, it appears that whatever pull that you had with the wheel is gone. It is locked, whether the rudder is in full drag towards the Black Spectre. At this point, you're not even sure if you could get it rerighted or actually pull the rudder back into a stable or a normal resting position. This might be the end of this ability, or your ability to affect this boat. Grob, you have one in front of you at this point, and or you have two in front of you, don't you?
Yeah, I think I have two on me.
Yep, you have two in front of you, and the rope beckons behind.
In that case, I have failed horribly to hit one of these guys, but I'm gonna try and hold the line and cut him again and see if I can do any better whilst I'm still on my rage for a 15 versus his armor class.
That will hit, sir.
Oh, good. Sorry. And he'll take a d12 plus 5. Hit him with a great axe. That is max damage for 17 points of slashing damage.
This gentleman is no more. How did he meet his fate?
As Grob apologizes, he cuts off his head. Yeah, his head just comes off. It's a clean, simple lopping of the head and it bounces into the sea as his body kind of tumbles against the side of the deck.
Okay, as that occurs, the pirate that was manning the station to the immediate right of his now headless friend takes off running. You have an attack of opportunity against him.
Oh, if you can run, do you? And a 14. Let's find out what
Will
his
also
is.
hit. Yep.
And it'll take 8 damage.
Okay, this cleaves him in the back and sends him sprawling along the deck as it moves up and down. He still seems to be alive, though, but in a bad way.
Nice.
The other pirates, as they advance, Strider, you have 1 on you. That will miss. 2 on Josh. 14 hit you.
Oh, yeah.
That's 5 more damage. And a 5 won't. Alrighty, so at this point, Grob, you are free. Strider, you have 1 on you. What would you guys like to do? At this point, anybody that has a casual glance realizes that the Black Spectre is about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody roll a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Hold! Dex was free. Mike, that is a nat 1.
Damn it, Will!
Yes!
Why do you hate me so?
No, I'm
No, wait,
wrong.
that doesn't affect me.
Yo, I'm
That's
wrong.
only you guys.
It's Grob, Rurik, and Quinn who that happens to. So you're actually
Yes!
so good. Damn it!
I had the 3 disadvantages.
Yeah. You'd fall out have done something. I rolled a 19. And
Nat 1.
that one for you. Everyone's
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for helping out, Josh.
Goodbye.
Okay, at this point, then, what we're going to do is Strider and Josh, you guys, even in bear form, you're going prone at this point. You roll to the side as these two craft crash together. And as you're laying there and the sailors and the pirates are the sailors are completely outmatched. Off to the side, you see the captain of the Lady Luck fighting against 3 of these guys. Several wounds, a vicious cut across his jawline as he's apparently setting himself up to fight to the last. And as soon as you guys are all sitting there, tethered together are the Black Spectre and the Lady Luck, you see a half-orc land on the deck. Immediately, your thoughts go to the fact that this has to be Captain Goldtusk, but it is not. This one has what appears to be 2 huge hoop earrings in, a handkerchief tied around his head, and he's standing there and he is holding a person that only Josh recognizes as the elf that was below the deck at the beginning of this little soiree. And he stands there and grins, a blade to her throat. At this point, we are paused from action. It appears that the pirates have backed away from you all and are focusing solely on cleaning up the remainder of the sailors.
How far away is this guy?
Yeah.
From you, you were up at he's about mid-deck, so he's a good 35, 40 feet away from you.
Hezekiah looks out at the prone bear Quinn, looks out at this guy holding an elf, and mutters under his breath and says, "Sleep." And if he has 27 or less hit points, he goes to sleep.
Let me check.
And if he has more than 27, everyone around him goes to sleep.
Gotcha, right. No, yes, he seems to shake for a second, but you see several of the pirates, boom, boom, 3 of them collapse around you. One of them was the wounded one that Grob had already hit, and 2 of them that seemed to be pretty spry, but 3 of them drop to the decking, and he grabs the back of the elf's hair and draws it up. And though you were all sitting there searching, in your dream you recognize this woman. You remembered it from that shared dream that you had. You can't remember her name. You think about it, all you can come up with was, hell, it's just that one lady. So as she's sitting there, that one lady is being held by this guy as he's holding it, and the storm is raging behind him. At that very moment, a lightning strike hits about 45 feet off of the bow of the Black Spectre, and you see it strike the water and disperse through the liquid. And almost as if on cue, unknown to the half-orc whose back is facing the waves, you see a huge tidal wave begin to rise. 20, 30, 40, 50. Screams begin to come from the sailors of both ships as they begin to lash themselves to the decking. What would you guys like to do? You have about 10 seconds.
Heronius is helping us, friends. This is perfect.
I lash myself with low rope that I've
I just lash myself
just
repeatedly.
lash my body. Bit of flagellation never hurt anyone, right? Yeah, I'm gonna just tie myself down to whatever I can. Oh shit! Sorry.
Okay. So you guys are all doing the Indiana Jones on the rope bridge, all this,
Yep.
Nutsy crazy, right? Okay, so you guys are lashing yourselves up just as the ships tethered together, the Lady Luck begins to pull up into the wave, and for the briefest of seconds, it's actually mast to mast with the Black Spectre, who's still on ocean level. There is a crash, and you all know no more. Once again, blackness. A priestess in gray. Protect the elf. A fellowship formed, a quest given. Death to a god. I'd like everybody to roll D20s for me.
D20 baby.
That is a 2.
I rolled a 15.
Okay, so 15. Who was the 13? Is that Mike?
That was Mike.
Okay. Grob. The bright sunlight wakes you up. You have sand in every conceivable orifice, every nook and cranny. And as you pull yourself up, your mouth parched with salt water and sand, you look around, and somehow your axe is still with you, still clutched in your hand. And you look up and down a pristine white sand beach. And as you're standing there, you see debris in the water, and you also see a figure lying maybe 40 feet away from you, also washed up in the surf.
I run a hand across my eyes to make sure I am here. I go for my glasses, and I still like in my like safe little upper pocket, I suppose.
Strangely enough, they are.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit odd. I get them out. I put them on the tip of my bridge of my nose.
Are they slightly cracked?
I mean, if they're slightly like dirty or anything, I'll wash them, clean them real quick with a little special
They
cloth.
seem to be in pristine condition.
Okay, yeah, I go for my cloth and I realize I don't need it. Interestingly, put them on the bridge of my nose. Have a look at this figure in front of me. You say 30 feet in front of me there was a figure?
Correct.
Who is this person?
Strangely enough, it is somebody wearing what appears to be a very fine set of leathers. There is what appears to be a thin-bladed weapon, sheathed and worn at the hip. It looks like someone that might be a diplomat.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Who are you?
Hezekiah, you are lulled from your dream by the soft and tones of Grob.
Do I remember all of the previous events of the storm and situation?
You remember the crash, you remember seeing the Lady Luck inverted over the Black Spectre, and that's it.
So yeah, he looks over, he hears this and he sees this like looming figure of a half-orc, and he immediately scrambles and starts pulling out his rapier, assuming that it's Gold Tusk. He says, "Avast, you pirate! Get away from me!"
I held up my hands. It's me, it's Grobicus.
Oh, good, Grobicus, the educated half-orc, my friend. The spectacles, the glint in the sun, it glared in my eyes. Hold on, let me get that. Where are we? Where is my boat? Where is the boat that wasn't mine? And the pirate boat?
We must have gotten washed up after the storm.
Good, it's always good to wash after a storm.
Yes. In salt and sand, apparently. Where are the others?
Yes.
We should have a look around to see if the
Of course.
rest of us is still alive.
I assume the one in all of the armor is dead. He drowned, likely. And one was also a bear who was laying down. He also probably drowned. I don't know.
Can bears swim?
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would assume we should find a bear and a corpse of a man in shining armor.
Well, we should look for a boat as well if you got washed up around here. I mean, how big is this island, Greg?
I tell you what, because you are a survivalist, I will give you the ability to roll a survival check for me.
Is it like the size of Chult, or
roughly Chult size?
Roughly Chultian.
It may be the size of the island known as NDA, so we will see.
Okay, yeah, interesting. We can't officially name it Chult. Yeah, 18 is the survival check.
Okay, you understand this to be just by you're looking down the beach and you can see the natural curve of it. You look up and you realize that there is a small mountain range with what appears to be a column of smoke coming off of it. In all likelihood, some type of volcanic activity. You realize that on this beach, with the winds and the way that the tide seems to be coming in, you would guess that you were on the north side of a beach. And I will be able to do something in a second that will give you a little bit better of an idea.
A little bit better of an idea.
I'm always here for the ideas. And on Roll20, I can, I think, do this right and show you guys something.
I will set up a scene flat real quick.
Oh, look at that. The island of NDA.
What do you know? Well, what do you know? Cool. I don't need a whole new scene for that.
So while that's happening, I think Hezekiah is going to look around, see if he can find a dead shining man and a bear.
Okay, roll perception check for me, please.
15.
Okay, you're able to look around and you do find what appears to be the bodies of several sailors of the Lady Luck. One of them, you don't recognize the dress, even with your limited experience. You may very well be a pirate. However, there are no bears, no men in ancient clothing, and no dead, drowned knights in shining armor.
Do the pirates and or members of the Lady Luck, do they look dead?
They look very dead. They look like their bodies are swollen, like they've been in the salt water for quite some time.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to have any semblance of life to them.
Hezekiah, who is very much not a diplomat, looks over his shoulder at Grob and then begins to loot the corpses.
Okay.
But he looks like he's checking them to be alive.
Is there like I mentioned, is there a ship nearby or any remnants of like flotsam or jetsam?
You see flotsam and or jetsam all over the place,
There's
but
difference.
nothing of any type of substance.
Okay.
This seems to be just
We washed up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You washed up here with the tide. Some of this stuff came with it. Nothing that's any more than the shattered remnants of a boat or two.
In that case, yeah, I'd probably join him. Not in looting, that's not my primary purpose, but to see if people are alive. So we should see if our friends are here. We washed up here, probably not far. And I'll go with my squinty eyes and take a look to see if I can find Quinn or Rurik. Or Captain.
Okie-dokie. Roll me a perception check.
Perceptione. It'll be 20. That's 20.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. You don't see anybody else. You identify the same bodies that Hezekiah did. But at this point, Grob, you're able to notice a couple more things about the surrounding area. It looks like the beach does extend farther towards the east. It does taper to what appears to be a terminus point towards the west. And what you can only assume would be south or inland, there appears to be small rising dunes that you're able to guess turn into foothills, maybe a couple hundred yards into the island proper. Also, at this time, I'd like you both to roll Constitution saving throws.
Yeah. About that.
Nice.
That'll be nat 20, and I've already used up my bad nat 20, so this one's real.
Nice. So at this point, you guys were able to survive this shipwreck and not gain a level of exhaustion due to the extreme heat of this tropical climb. You now have open to you this unnamed island with potential paths to the east up the beach, the west down the beach, or the interior of the island, which, as noted to Grob, is made up of dunes, which appear to turn into small rolling foothills.
Yeah, I point this out to Hezekiah. But yeah, I say, there's all out there to explore, but I mean, you think they would have just headed off, or let's take one last look round here, and then if we can't find them, then we'll have to go looking, I suppose. Or
Yes,
just
well,
see what
I've
else is out
understood
there.
that the first thing you do in a shipwreck is you find shelter. I assume the shelter would be in these hills here, but yes, we should look one more time.
Yeah. So one last sweep to see if the bodies, or whether or not they're alive, at least two around, because they seem like they're most likely to survive. And then, if not, off to the foothills with us.
Mike, while Grob is checking around, Hezekiah is able to pocket the equivalent of 12 gold pieces, made up of smaller change, but I'll just add it up to 12 gold pieces.
Sure. Sweet deal.
So yeah, I'll do some body searching. You want to roll perception on that?
No, you guys can just loot. If you guys are just looting the bodies or just checking
And,
the bodies.
and these guys definitely on here.
None of these guys are here.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
see, like I said, you see the aforementioned bodies, the one pirate, but it does not appear that your other companions are with you, nor is there any sign of an elf girl.
Well, no more of these two, so off to the foothills, because we don't know if that storm's going to come back in.
Yes, we should find shelter. Perhaps a large tree, a cave, build fire, find food. I believe we are shipwrecked on a deserted island.
Yeah, and then we can maybe make a signal, another ship comes by, takes us back to the Sword Coast.
Yes, of course. The Sword Coast. Greg, Hezekiah reaches into his pack. Is his family heirloom still with him and intact?
It is.
Okay.
And also, while you're reaching through the pack, you find a sealed scroll tube.
He pulls that out and takes a look at it.
It is sealed watertight, so when you pull it out, while the rest of your things in your pack are waterlogged a bit, this seems to be perfectly fine. And as you pull it out, it has the aforementioned seal fixed with the initials NDA, and it is before you.
Yeah, he opens this thing and reads what it says.
It says, protect the girl, listen to your friends, listen to your companions, do not try to remember. And it's signed in your own hand.
Okay.
And it's signed however you would sign something to yourself.
Babe.
Right.
So it says, protect the girl, listen to your friends, and don't. What was the last part?
Don't try to remember.
Hugs and kisses.
Yeah.
Remember you're a sexy bastard.
XO, I love you, H. Yeah, he puts that back in the tube and seals it back up and sort of puts it back in his backpack. And the first moment that Grog leaves to go lead into the forest, he pulls out the divining rod and just holds it up to see if it has any reaction to this place.
Roll a perception check for me, or an insight since you're, or investigation since you're going straight for those.
19.
You don't sense anything different about it. There's
Okay.
no hum, no glow, no sound.
Okay. Then he puts it back in his pack, sort of cinches it tight, sighs heavily, and proceeds to follow Grob.
Okay, it's at this point that you both realize that you do in fact have your packs and all of your gear together, even though they were left in the hold of the Lady Luck when she crashed. You did not have them on your persons, I'm presuming. You did not have your packs, no one mentioned it.
Yeah.
You have them, all of your equipment, despite it not being on your person at the moment of the shipwreck.
This is all very weird. The fact that we just keep waking up together with all of our stuff.
It's like the hangover.
Yeah, I didn't have all this stuff last time. Did you have your stuff?
No, I had nothing. In fact, I didn't even have my rapier. I had but my gloves and my clothing, my sequined vest. Yes, I didn't have any of this. Also, I found a scroll tube in my pack.
Scroll tube? I have a check in my pack.
There is a sealed scroll tube in Grob's pack.
That wasn't... Hang on. I open it.
It says the following. Protect the elf. Trust your companions. Don't try to remember. And it appears that there was something else, but it has been redacted by means that it appears that it was just smudged over. You cannot make it out. And it is signed in your hand.
Sting. Looks like we signed these to ourselves, but why would we do that? Wait, it says not to try to remember. Maybe we shouldn't think about it. Do we trust ourselves? Do you trust yourself, Hezekiah?
So it turns out that I don't know a girl except for the elf girl that was on the boat. I don't know her either. And I was on board with none of my friends. So I'm not sure who to listen to. And I don't trust myself. Neither should anyone else.
Well, I'm of a similar opinion at the moment, because I did the same thing. Managed to get myself in a situation with, well, washed up in a beach with... Well, first things first. Let's get all of our, let's get our lives together and find some shelter. See if we can find anyone other survivors, maybe, or see what this island has to offer.
Yes, of course. As I said, we should find shelter and use that as our base of operation to find our friends. Or what I assume this letter refers to as friends.
Yeah, that elf girl does seem important now. She was
So,
there at the end.
To being friends, yes?
Right. Friends. We march
Okay,
on.
so you guys are heading into the interior?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. My druid. You wake up. The sun is shining. You can already feel your skin starting to burn. You are on a beautiful white sand beach. As you get up and look around, you see a few remnants of what you can only assume to be the unlucky lady and a gentleman in pretty shiny armor sitting about 25 or 30 feet away on his back, his face very sunburned.
Quinn stands. He looks around for his gear. I presume his gear is there.
Everything that he woke up to or was carrying
Yeah.
at the time, he has everything.
He picks up his spear, holds his shield in front of him, and begins to sort of, with the spear balanced over the top, begins to advance towards this figure, sort of flanking round in a large sweeping circle to get a view of this individual.
Yep. The closer you get, you do recognize this individual as the gentleman that fought with you.
He pauses and looks confused, and before he approaches him, this guy seems to be in sort of a fugue state. He is going to look around to see if he can see any green in any direction.
Sure. Roll me a survival check.
I can do that. Maybe, possibly. It's been known. There we go. An 18.
Nice. Okay, so using your druidic knowledge of nature, the tides, air currents, you're able to divine that you are in fact on what appears to be an island. If you had any guess, you would say you were on the southern side of an island, given the currents and the way the debris seems to be floating and taking track to the west. As you look around, you see a plume of smoke in the distance, a mountain range that was probably indicative of volcanic activity. You also see off to what is essentially, if you're to be understood, the northwest, you see the greenery of what appears to be a very dense jungle or forest. And straight ahead, you see, or straight north, you see rolling plains with some slight foothills.
So Quinn sort of walks over to him, stabs his spear into the sand, and crouches in front of this man, and just sort of waves his hand in front of his eyes to see if there's any reaction.
None. He's breathing, but he's not blinking.
And he just pokes him hard in the chest.
You feel a poke in your chest, sir.
Heronius, is that you? Am I dead?
If Heronius was with us on that ship, he probably drowned.
I'm still alive. Damn it! Help me up.
How are you still alive? You wear metal armor. We were at sea.
I'm the champion of Heronius, friend. Nothing can kill me.
Oh no, he's got a robo.
He's metal and he is entirely a robot. He is the
Right.
Terminator, and that is how
But I can't get off my back without help.
Oh, he's back. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. He looks at you and just says, I have no idea who this Heronius is, but if he managed to keep you from drowning and the ship being wrecked and wearing armor such as yourself, well, maybe he is a good man. And,
He is the best, and I will tell you about him when we have time.
I would like that. And he reaches down and sort of pulls you to your feet.
He claps you on the back. We have to stop waking up together, friend. People are going to start talking.
Why?
Well, I do not judge. I'm just not into bears.
Multiple meanings across many, many different.
Yeah. He says, you are strange. I don't. Very well. I'm sure from where you're from, it is high praise. So I don't see anyone else. I see flotsam and wreckage from the ship, but not enough to be the whole ship.
Rorik's going to look around. He's not going to loot any bodies, but he will look to see if there's any crates of like grog or food or anything that's washed up.
Sure. When you guys look around, I don't have to make you roll for this. You don't see any bodies floating or washed up. You two seem to be the only ones on this segment of beach. The flotsam and jetsam consist of just shattered boards. You maybe see a couple segments of sail that appear to be tattered and just kind of floating on the top of the water in the shallow tide pools. Nothing that immediately strikes your eye as being useful at this point.
Okay. So Quinn is going to walk towards sort of like the wreckage of the ship, like some that sort of drifted ashore, and he's going to look for some that sort of dried in the baking hot sun. Find like a board, and he's going to basically make like a sled, pile some dry wood, some driftwood onto it, and then grab some rope from his pack, lash it, and begin walking with purpose towards any green he can find, just anything.
Okay, so you're just gathering dry wood, putting it on the sled, lashing it up. Okay, at this point, since you guys are on the move, why don't you roll some Constitution saving throws for me?
Nah.
Okay.
Pass on that one.
Why not? Because I don't want to. I got a 12.
I got a 15.
Okay, both of you remain unaffected by the heat. I will let you know this, and this is part of that which cannot be named. If you are wearing heavy armor in this climate, you must make sure that you take food once a day and water twice a day. If you are wearing ancient clothing or anything that's not heavy armor, you must take water and food once a day. So keep that in mind, lest we be making Constitution saving throws quite a good bit.
Okay.
So you guys are headed towards the interior of the island.
Indeed.
Okay. At this point, what I would like you to do is, I would like, Josh, you're leading the way, correct?
He should be.
Yeah, because you
Absolutely.
okay.
I don't know this. I can't survive.
Okay, so
Just
you're
gonna
what
die.
I'm saying is, yeah, that you're a little bit farther behind, correct?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Not too
A
much.
couple yards. Huh.
Okay, I am going to give you the chance to do this. Make just a straight dexterity saving throw for me, and this is your ability to react to something.
Okay, sounds fun. That's the best dex check so far. It's a 13.
13.
Okay. While you do see the shadow of what appears to be a descending creature of some kind, your throat catches, whether it be from the fact that you've been exposed to the elements, sunburned, without a lot of water. You go to yell, but you just can't do it. Josh, you feel two huge talons clamp onto your shoulders. Yes. Okay. What I will do at this moment is we need to do a strength saving throw, Josh. And you're going to do so at disadvantage.
Yay! I'm so good, Elise. See how good I am. That's a 19. Like a boss. I'm very impressed. I have no modifier.
Nice. And this will be an advantage.
Oh no. No, at disadvantage, an 8. I tell a lie.
Yeah, you're at disadvantage. Okay. So you feel these two claws latch into you and rip you up into the sky. 25, 30, 35, 45, 50 feet in the blink of an eye, you are sailing over what you can now have a very good view of as an island. Rorik, as you're behind looking up, you see what is apparently a leather-winged creature has come out of the sky, come down, grabbed a hold of the only other person that you see alive here, taken into the air, squawking the entire time, a long, elongated razor beak on this thing, as it through the air as it flies off, and you see it disappearing into what the druid explained to you was a northerly direction.
Damn.
So Quinn is just like off in the sky, and he's like, "Well, shit."
I will be off on foot as fast as I can through the jungle, just to try to like at least keep him in sight. Maybe I can try to figure out where he's if he's dropped anywhere, I'll be able to go find him.
What I'm going to have you do right now is I want you to roll a perception check just to kind of get your original bearing. You're looking up and you see as this thing flies, you're trying to kind of match it on a intercept course on land. And I'm going to give you this to see how you do.
Yeah, chat are praising your pterodactyl RPing, Greg. I think it's your next character.
That was fantastic. Yeah,
That scared the shit out of me. I was not ready for it.
I got a 10.
Thank you. If only I could, make money doing that. But no. Okay, so you are able to keep a pretty good distance. He's still relatively close. You're able to see him disappearing into the north. And you are able to,
just sprinting that direction as fast as I can.
What is your constitution? What's your modifier for your constitution? Are you +3 or +2?
Yeah, I'm +3.
Okay, so basically what you're going to be able to do for this is I'm going to allow you to essentially dash for as many pluses as you have before I make you start rolling constitution checks. So I'll get back with you. Meanwhile, let's cut back to our other group that is traveling from the north. We have Grob and
Hezekiah.
I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more here. Can you guys see this when I'm opening it up? Can you guys see?
Yeah,
yes?
yeah.
Working with technology, and this is probably not. All right. So as you guys are walking through here, you do in fact hit the rolling hills that Grob had thought that you were going to be able to see. And as you get closer, you realize that the plains in front of you are filled with what you strangely think at first might be maybe cows, maybe some variation of some type of domesticated beast. But the closer you get, you realize that they're getting much too big to be anything like this. Maybe if some of you have seen bison before, it goes through that, some type of animal. But the closer you draw, you realize that as they're sitting there eating from these tall plains grasses, they pop their heads up to look around for a second. You see a short snout with a beak protruding down, a huge fan of what looks like membrane of some type of almost shield type of structure coming off the back of their heads. And they have two long horns coming from the forehead and one coming off the tip of the nose as they look around and then go back to eating as the two of you approach from the north. If you would like to, you can roll me a nature or history check.
I don't know what these things are. I've never seen nothing like this before.
Nor have I. I don't. Is this some kind of? I've seen in pictographs. I've seen a dragon, but nothing like this. They have great big wings, but the same leathery hide.
It's a 5 from me.
Lizard
and
men, perhaps.
7 from Rick.
Yeah, neither of you really realize what these things are, so you can only kind of equate them to something that you may have heard of in the past. And you remember hearing of like some of like the larger lizards that they use in the far west of Faerun, far east of Faerun. Once again, dragons come to mind, but these don't seem to fit that bill. They seem to be just massive creatures with short, stubby legs that at their footprint would be as wide around as Grob's like waist. I mean, these things are massive creatures. So they're sitting there.
Waist.
There's about, by your rough count, there's about 100 of them feeding on these plains in about a 2-mile direction. You notice that the valley kind of tapers to the far south. You see a rise of hills to what would now be your east or your left. And to the right, you see a dense jungle. They don't seem to be paying you too much of a mind here. You can attempt to go through it if you would like.
Those things are huge. I've no idea what they are. We got to get past them, though. Do you think they're going to eat us?
I believe they're eating the plants. Perhaps they only feed on plant.
So they're like big friendly bears.
Big, no, bears eat people.
Some of them eat
they're
honey.
like big horned cows. Leathery horned reptilian cows.
Right, big cow. Okay. Well, sometimes a stampede of cows could be dangerous, but Let's go past them.
Now, I suggest the high ground. You want to look for our friends. I believe the high ground is better than this dense, terrifying-looking jungle.
I have to agree. Let's take the high road.
Deal.
Okay, so you guys are heading up into like where the foothills become the larger mountain ranges, and you know there's a cliff face available. Okay,
Yep.
as you guys are going, a couple of the creatures begin to look over, and you see them. One of them kind of pause at the ground for a second, and even from this distance, you can feel it through the earth. You know, a quake as it takes a step, and there's a exhalation of a snort as it's kind of peering with these eyes that you're not real sure can maybe pick you up at this range, but you're pretty sure some of its other senses are being triggered by your approach. You may try to go stealthily if you'd like.
Yes.
Yeah. So this looks aggressive as far as I can tell?
Well, you can roll a perception check and I'll tell you that.
Sure. I'll attempt to be perceptive.
You've seen bulls before, and this looks like something that would be indicative of an aggressive posture by a bull.
Okay. So to better cover our tracks with this stealth roll, Hezekiah kind of looks at this thing and then wiggles his fingers and does his best imitation of this thing, equally aggressive, and casts Silent Image. And I'm basically making a pawing, aggressive-looking Triceratops facing this other Triceratops as we try to sneak by.
Okay, so you're going to kind of put him, obviously not directly in front of you, but off to the side.
Off to the side, so but in its eye line, so it can see it like emerge from the tree or something like that.
Okay, now a Silent Image, that's what, a 15-foot square or a 15-foot cube of a creature?
Yeah, no bigger than a 15-foot cube, yeah.
Okay, and all it does is basically it's visual, correct? It's not...
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so you create what is essentially a mirror of this creature, albeit a little bit smaller from tip to tail. And it sits there and paws the ground, but there's no visible reaction. That quake that you felt before obviously isn't equated with this illusory creature. And as it's pawing the ground, the real creature that had been looking your way pays it no mind.
Okay.
It appears to just almost in a way look through it, and it seems to be more focused on whatever it either smelled or whatever it either felt or heard from your direction.
Cool. And then I will try to stealth.
Okay. That's
Welcome
a nat
back, boys
one,
and girls.
ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back, boys and girls.
You want me to roll that?
That's a nat one. Yeah.
I'm in it to win it.
Is there any point in me rolling? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you could crit this out. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, we could
true,
not
that's
be
true.
fucked.
That's true. 18.
That's a great roll, but it's just not good enough. Okay, so as you guys are beginning to walk through, you hear another. And as you turn around, you see the one creature that was looking at you has begun to trot in your direction. It seems to have either honed in on a smell, a sound, or the vibration of the ground itself, and it is gaining speed and starting to charge towards specifically Hezekiah.
I break.
At this point, you guys, let's roll a little initiative to see who can get where and who can do what. And I'll roll it from my boy here, and we'll see.
Alrighty, initiative is my +3. Yeah, Greg doesn't need to do all the dinosaur noises throughout the rest of this campaign. That's all I want. It's just clicks and buzzes and noises.
Yep. Just only dinosaur noises.
16.
Okay, so
Professional
you guys
voice
are
actor, Gregory Snaggle.
right. You guys are you guys are moving, but this thing seems to be gaining speed. In front of you, you see what is apparently a cliff wall.
Of course.
And I'd like both of you to roll. This is my favorite part. I'd like both of you to roll perception checks. Yeah.
I was like, why are we running towards a cliff? No! Why do we always do this? Perception is a +4. I take off my glasses on a 19 to see what's ahead of me.
Grob takes off his glasses as he's running, and he sees maybe 20 feet, 25 feet up the slope of this craggy cliff face, apparently an opening to what appears to be a natural cave. It is kind of shrouded with the shrubbery that's inherent on any flat surface in a jungle. Vegetation takes root because of the humidity. And for a second, Hezekiah didn't see it at all. It took you a second, even without your glasses on, before you were able to focus in and actually see it. But there it is, about 25 feet up. You're pretty sure you guys could climb up to it. However, you have a large creature that is now 50 feet behind you and gaining speed.
Yeah, I point up there, to Hezekiah, who's falling over himself.
Yeah. Hezekiah follows you. He's running right after you.
Yeah, I don't have anything to make me particularly fast. The only thing I could do... How long does it take to put a hunting trap down? I mean, this thing's huge as well, right?
I'm assuming by a hunting trap, from the way I understand it for a barbarian, yeah, a hunting trap is whatever the barbarian needs it to be. Like, it could be like a sling slip trap for a rabbit. It could be a bear trap for... if it's something for a creature this large, it's going to take a while to set because it requires precision. You got to crank these things open, and you got to be able to kind of prime them without killing yourself. So while it'd be fun to have you try, I'm not going to let you do it.
Yeah,
it would take too much
The
time.
other thing I'm thinking is how describe how big this thing is to me one more time.
When it's coming down to you, at this point, you can only really see the face of this creature. And with the fan that comes around as a shield around the back of it, you're looking at something that is about, with the fan from the horns coming out and from tip of one side of the fan to the other, between 8 to 10 feet across. Lengthwise, you're looking at between 12 to 15 feet in length. Height, anywhere from 10 to 12 to 15 feet.
I'm thinking of throwing a javelin, and I'm like, nope! And I'm just I gotta run for it. This thing is way too scary and big for us.
Right, we're in the meta.
Yeah, we're in
a sack of hit points.
Yeah, we're in the higher level zone that we've run into right now, and we need to get back home. So,
right,
yeah.
if this guy was running with a health bar over top of it, it's got a black skull and crossbones. You've hit the area that you should not be in.
Oh no, we've hit the elite mob! I'm gonna I'm just gonna jump up to whatever ledge I can get to, try and outrun this thing. Try and get to the safe point before this thing gets to us.
I'm pretty sure I will allow you. Can you do what? Can you?
You mentioned there was some kind of ledge?
Yes. I want you guys to either roll whatever you would like as far as an acrobatics or an athletic check.
Athletics is a +7, so let's do that. I'm gonna throw myself and Hezekiah.
Yeah, I am going to roll an acrobatics and see what happens. Not bad.
Okay, you guys are able to scramble up pretty far, at least out of the range of this creature. You're not necessarily to the ledge yet because you just missed a couple handholds. It's kind of shaly up here. As you guys are holding on, though, you feel a thunderous hit underneath you as this thing, apparently well aware of where you went, crashes into the rock wall beneath you, seemingly to no effect of its own. I'd like you guys to make dex saving throws for me, please.
That will be a 17 from me.
Okay, you guys are able to, without much of a slip or a repurchase grab, you guys are able to hold on and continue your climb until you reach up to the ledge and you're able to pull yourselves in. You do notice now that even though you were focused on the one creature, it appears to have drawn several other of the herd who now seem to be meandering in this semi-box canyon, pawing at the same area where you went, kind of re-sniffing and retracing your tracks as if just now realizing that there was an intruder that only this one member of the herd seemed to have identified. So now this once clear area is pretty choked with between 15 to 20 of these massive creatures who seem to be kind of honed in on extrasensory type of knowledge.
Yeah.
You guys turn around and you do realize that this appears to be not just a cave, but a network of some kind. And you also notice when you're up here that just inside the cave, appears to be the skeleton of what appears to be a small humanoid.
How far down is this cliff to where these monstrosities are?
About 25 feet, and I'm glad you mentioned depth because we're going to snap back to the druid who is currently flying through the sky. And
flying through the air.
And so, right, as your boy is being flung through the air, Quinn, you feel the pressure and you realize that you fought against it initially, and now you're holding on for dear life. You are a good 100, 150 feet above this island. And I'd like you to roll a perception check for me.
Not good with heights. That's a 13.
Okay. As you're flying, you realize that there's nothing else to really do. When you look up, it's terrifying. When you look down, it's nauseating. But as you look down, you see what appears to be a herd of several hundred large creatures. And they seem to be congregating towards a northerly box canyon area. But that view is torn away from you as you are dropped. And about a full second later, you crash into what you believe to be a huge pile of sticks. It takes you a second to realize this is a nest. It takes you another second to realize it's not empty. Let's cut back to our knight in shining armor.
Fuck you.
Meandering through the jungle.
Meandering through the jungle, right. I would like you to roll a d20 for me because you're hauling ass through a jungle.
Okay. How's a 3?
Oh, it's great for me. Okay, so as you're running, you're able to come up and you see a wave of about chest-high grass in front of you. And it's blowing with that southerly wind that is coming off of the beach you just left. And it's just blowing, and it looks incredible. It's breathtaking if you weren't chasing after the only human being that you've seen flying through the air. You're able to see the speck disappearing. You believe it to be several hundred yards off. And as you watch, you see the speck drop. And you realize that your friend had just been released. You don't see where he landed. It disappeared below the tree line. I'd like you to roll a perception check for me.
Thanks so much, GBC Shun, for subscribing on Twitch Prime.
It's a really
Much better
beautiful
this time.
It's a
Yes.
really
Yeah.
beautiful place, and it really kind of draws you in for a second with its majesty. The path towards Quinn is through this tall grass.
The gods are to be praised. It's beautiful here.
Right, this is Elysium. This is just the Isle of the Gods and Champions. Okay, as you begin to, what I'm assuming you're continuing your run through the grass. Okay. In what would be a very Robert Redford natural moment if it were being filmed by a cinematographer from the 80s. It's in fact being filmed by a cinematographer from the 90s. And you notice that as soon as you get into the area, you see what appears to be zigzagging lines in the grass to your left, to your right. And as you turn and look behind, you see what appears to be a zigzagging line approaching you in this direction. There's nothing you can see, but it just seems like the grass itself is moving in an erratic pattern different than the southerly breeze that you originally experienced.
Clever girl.
Do I have spells back from the ship battle?
You do. Yep. You guys have everything back, and your health is at full,
Okay,
which I did not mention before. So thank you.
Going to have my weapon out, and now I am gonna throw that +2 on my AC.
Snap Shield of Faith. Okay.
Yeah, and then yell out. He's not the most clever, so he yells out to the grass. Just, hello, friends. I need help.
The zigzag stop.
I am looking for my friend. Have you seen him? Come out, please. I know you are there.
from off in a direction that you had not yet identified, you hear a and
It's fucking dead on.
It's
That sound.
This is immersive. I love it.
That's right from the movies.
so you hear that coming from another direction, and it's only a second later before it's answered by the one that was trailing you. You hear and you see a reptilian head peek up from the grass. Its eyes squint and it lowers back below the grass.
It's the most shady shit I've ever seen.
What would you like to do, sir?
Terrifying and immersive. At this point, you can probably put together they're not friendly.
Yeah.
He likes slaughter, though, so he's just going to take a defensive stance and wait to get pounced on. He's going to slay these things. He is confident in his ability.
Awesome. All right, so you have seen them coming, so to speak, but as you're in a defensive stance, you realize that none of the zigzags are moving. And intermittently, you'll hear from what appears to be behind you, over one shoulder, over the other shoulder. Every once in a while, you'll hear things that appear to be a snort, and then followed by a ow, 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 and then nothing.
Okay, if I'm not actually being attacked, I'm gonna look around my surroundings really quick and see if there's anything at all, like a high ground, anything that can help me out. Just see what's around me.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm not a complete dick. Of course, I would give you some place to run, right? You see the foothills turning into, there is that plains that off to the left, you see what appear to be very large creatures. Just right down, you kind of get a glimpse between a U valley of these very large creatures right off of the grass plains. That seems to be an escape route.
Not a complete dick, he says. Do you remember that time when I was snatched 150 feet in the air and then dropped? Do you remember that?
I'm kind of over it now.
You
the
land
big-
gracefully.
The past is a past, you know.
Yeah,
The
I'm
big
over
creatures
it too.
are
Forgive and forget.
the big creatures are actually kind of like near my destination, right? Like they're
Correct. They're maybe just a little bit off to the left. Like you got an idea of a pinpoint using geographical locations to kind of see where Quinn landed. And this would drag you a little bit to, if Quinn were correct, would drag you to the west, which would be your left.
okay. Yeah, going to make a mental note in his head of where he thinks he saw his friend drop, and then he's not gonna sprint or run. He's gonna go very slowly. He's gonna start inching over towards this like little valley.
I would like you to roll an intimidation check for me, please.
Intimidation is something I actually have. 17.
Okay, so as you begin moving away, do you do anything? Are you remaining quiet? Are you trying to hide? Are you, with this intimidation roll, it's more based on, I'm assuming your guy's not scared as he's turn.
It's his body language, you know. Inching along, he has his weapons out. If any eyes peek above, just direct eye contact. And he's not trembling, not shaking, not looking around nervously. He's sure of himself.
Okay,
Walking through here like he owns the joint.
As you're walking through there, you know, without any fear in your heart, and better yet, as far as science is concerned, no fear in the smell that you are projecting, no pheromones that are terrified or make it ready for the picking. As you're walking by, you realize that immediately to your left, maybe 2 feet away in the grass, one of those eyes pop up and you see the entire head of this creature as it is literally within petting distance as you back away from it, and its eyes follow you the whole time, and it gives you like a as you walk past, its eyes locked on yours as it's looking at this metal clad 2 bipedal something or other that is taller than him, but doesn't seem to be as scared as it should. And it's just following you for right now, eyes. And you notice that a couple of the zigzags begin as you get a spit, like about 10 or 15 feet from your prior position. They start zigzagging again, remaining in the same type of flanking pattern as they were before. But this one does not dip down below. It continues to just watch you, and it occasionally, and you just,
I never turn my back on that one that's watching me, but I am scanning to not being completely distracted, not just only staring at them.
clever go.
Trying to make sure they know I'm watching them.
Okay. You identify that what you believe to be with the zigzags and the one that you're watching 4, but because your earlier perception check wasn't that great, I'll let you know this, there's probably more, just because you're hearing movement from different areas.
There's probably 75 right behind me.
Right. Let's cut back to our 2 guys that are in the cave as you slowly back away towards the plane of the whatever those great big 3-horned creatures are. Triceratops.
Big
Okay.
cows, as far as we're concerned.
Right. Okay, so you guys are inside what appears to be a cave network. And what would you like to do? There is a
There was a
path going
body,
down.
right?
There is, and it is picked clean. But because you are a survivalist, I will allow you to roll such things.
Alrighty, then I shall do. I shall see if my 10 has enough to see if there's anything on him.
You don't see anything necessarily that would indicate the personality or the person in question, but you do recognize the race to probably be gnomish. It is literally picked clean and bleached white and left here for God knows what reason.
I say, it looks like one of our gnomish friends wasn't so lucky.
Are there any garments or bags or anything around this, or is it just literally bones?
Literally bones. Yeah, it's just because just for the viewers, Grob has the survivalist ability, which gives him a lot of benefits on identification in the natural world, very ranger-esque. So in looking at this, he's able to size up the skeleton and the skull to fit, halfling gnome right around that area.
So Hezekiah looks over at Grob and says, "Yes, but if he made it as far as we did and appears to have arrived here under similar duress, where are his items? We arrived with all of our goods."
Well, I don't remember it being a gnome on board, so maybe he's not one of ours. He's been here far too long.
Right, but did he arrive alone, and who took his goods? Did he arrive with friends? Did they kill him and take his goods?
Maybe they eat it. They're pretty
Maybe
big.
his
They look
friends
like
eat-
they could eat anything. No, I mean the big cows.
Right. Oh, yes, the big leather cows. Perhaps they could eat it. They did charge us, and we're not
Well,
plant-based.
we might find out if we head further down this tunnel.
You make a good point. Do we have? Oh yeah, I guess we have our packs. We have torches and stuff in there, right? I would assume.
You do. Do you have dark vision?
I do,
But
because I am a half elf. I
Grob
think so
does
does
not.
Grob. Oh,
Grob, do you have dark vision?
I am a half orc, so I should do, right? Yeah.
believe
Okie
that works,
dokie.
too.
Okay, so you guys can torch it if you want, but you don't have to.
yeah. If we don't have to,
We don't need to, then it'll show us up more.
yeah.
How would
So
you
it
like to
says-
proceed? And give me a marching order, because those are never bad omen.
I'll head first, I guess.
Now, Grob, I don't know you very well. I woke up on the boat and met you for the first time. You seem to be an astute man. I am not what you could call a fighter.
But, well, you're also quite loud, from what I've learned back there.
Right, correct.
So, I'll go first.
Right, thank you. And I will be quiet. Ish.
Good. And I,
And on that note, a stealth check is in order.
of course it is. +3. 20.
Look at that.
Also 20.
Hey,
Dirty
nice.
20s across the board.
Filthy.
All right,
20s.
you guys are just unbelievably filthy.
Mm.
As you guys slip further into this cave, you come across some first it descends naturally. You can actually see where water and humidity has created ruts in the ground. But as you progress a little bit, you realize that there are stones that have been placed here to create more of a stair descent. And as soon as you hit these stairs, you begin to smell what can only be a mixture of rotten vegetation, perhaps spoiled meat, death, nasty stuff.
This is bad. This smells real bad.
Yes, it smells quite terrible. I believe we're walking into a graveyard or a corpse, or perhaps something down here eats corpses and shits them out.
But that one was picked clean, so maybe these guys are fresher.
I don't know what's worse, Grob.
Let's find out. And I'll kind of like unsling my, well, not unsling it, but like loosen the strap from which my great axe is on, I suppose.
Correct. Okay. All right. So as you guys proceed down this natural, unnatural, created staircase, you are able to peer into what is essentially a wider area that opens up in these tunnels. And off to your left, you see what appears to be 3 bipedal lizard creatures and what appears to be a human or half-elf boy strung up on a stone table, and he is gagged and tied, and one of the lizard creatures is wearing robes and has a knife positioned over his chest. Let's cut back to our gentleman in the nest.
Sure.
Let's do that. Yeah, whatever. Fuck him.
Okay, Quinn, as you are sitting there, you realize that in front of you is a smaller version of the creature that carried you, and its friend, and its other friend. And there is a yellow-skinned, a green-skinned, and a bluish-skinned smaller hatchling of this creature, who is now perched off on an outcropping of stone about 10 feet away, watching proudly as they begin to advance on you. Let's roll some initiative.
Yay, a 9.
These guys
You guys have got this. You guys are the A-team.
Okay, so here they come.
God damn it.
Hey, Will, remember that time we were awesome together?
I do, man. Yeah, we nailed that. We'll have dreamed. This is why we're on the top of the overlay.
15's gonna hit you, right, buddy?
Nope.
No, it's not.
No. I'm not a bear.
Oh, okay. So 15 does not hit
Through to
you.
that high AC.
Will 20 do it?
20 will do it, yeah.
Okay. 10 will not do it then. So you take 7 piercing damage as these things come in what is essentially a pack formation, and they begin as they come in one at a time, and you're finding it difficult to evade these razor sharp beaks as they just begin to kind of glaive at you in a sequence that you have yet to see. You may launch an attack, sir.
Yeah. I don't want this. I'm going to.
Or you can look around, or you can.
Nah. I'm being strap attacked. I'm going to stab at one of them. For a nat 20, which becomes a nat 1 because fuck me.
So for a second, you see the
Nah.
perfectly lined up spear shot, and it is absolutely going to pierce one of these things between its offset eyes and its angular snout. And just the last second, one of the other snouts comes in and just deflects the spear tip out of the way. You guys touch tips for a second, and it goes wide, and you miss.
Oh man, when you touch chips and then it goes wide. Am I right, guys?
Right.
This is a very close to home moment.
Right. Okay, so what I'm going to need you to do is you have a bonus and movement action. Do you have anything else you would like to do?
That dinosaur noise there?
Yeah. Let me just check. I don't think so, no. So I'm just going to...
Yeah, that sounds like a new quote to me. You guys touch tips for a second and then it goes wide.
Yeah. So no, I'm going to just sit here and regret my life decisions.
Good. I can make that happen for you. 13 misses.
Yep.
11 misses. But it's got a pack mentality, so the 19 of advantage hits for 6.
Yep. God
And
damn
the 18 hits, that's 12 points of damage. How are you faring there, sir?
I mean, I've been better. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, at this point, you can once again attack, look around, movement, bonus action, everything you have, as we are at the...
Yeah, I'm straight up gonna die in a second. This is where he just fucked this shit. And once again,
Cosmo,
he's going
thank you,
to
dude.
turn into a fucking bear. Because bears can climb, and all will be well. And this is going to go entirely fine. Nothing bad can happen. And I will go for the one I've already hit. I didn't hit because fuck me.
Right, the one that you almost hit, the one that you touched tips with, your tip
Yeah.
buddy.
So
Tip, bro.
I'll go for that one first. For a nat 20.
That will, now you've upset about the tip touching, you have gone talon to tip, and let's see what you got.
So that is... And that's 22 slashing damage.
Okay, as you eradicate this creature in front of you, you paw it so hard it goes flying from the nest. And at that moment, the other two back away from you, and you hear a screech as what you can only assume to be the mother or the father, the parent of this creature, dives after the body that you have flung free of the nest. And you hear the as it dives back below you. And at this point, when you're able to look around in bear form, you see 10 feet away from you a ledge, which what appears to be a hole in the wall, an entrance. And you also realize you're about 100 feet up.
I'm going to try and fucking climb down. As bears can climb, but I don't know about 100 feet in the air. And I'm gonna give it a shot. So I'm presuming you're gonna want some kind of check.
Right. Since you're in a bear form, did you want to allow you to do like a strength check with your bear abilities or a dex check?
Yeah, I'm gonna make
Either
that
one.
So it's 14. That's an 8. Nailed it.
Ooh. Okay, so as you start to climb across there, you feel the rock beneath your talons of your back left claw or back left paw gives way. And you scramble to try to reattach yourself to the wall. And we're going to cut back to our guy down on the plains as Rourke is able to get himself into the valley. And as soon as you get out of the high grass and go into the valley, you see the creatures all kind of stop. And the one that was staring at you keeps its eyes on you, and it walks out of the grass towards you. As it comes forward, and it's moving in a very, it's catching its ear towards you. As much as it's looking at you now, it's using its ear to track you as you walk. And behind, you see what appears to be a dozen sets of eyes pop up from various points in the grass as they're all looking, seemingly waiting to see what this one with the slight bluish skin makes of you.
Okay, so there's no chance anymore behind me at this point?
You don't see any, and you're outside of the grass now. So they could be on the walls, they could be hidden behind, some bushes or some vegetation that you're unaware of, but it appears that the majority of them are in front of you. I will let you take a perception check if you want to stop and really look around.
My other question is, how far are the large creatures that I saw? The big
Um,
Triceratops things.
They're about 25 yards away. It's a very short little valley. You were able to see it from the plains that you were on before. So it's not going to take long for you to... I mean, if you turned and ran, you'd be through it in 2 or 3 seconds. So... But they're
Yep.
close.
It's always
Yeah,
safe to run velociraptors.
I mean,
It's like, swimming with dolphins, right? You got to do it once in your life.
right?
It's
on the
bonus
bucket
item for
list.
sure.
Swimming
Fine.
up plesiosaur.
I can mark this one off the bucket list at least.
Yeah.
I don't inherently know that the big creatures aren't going to harm me either, though. So, behind me, and see what the raptor does.
Okay, so you're just backing up. You're continuing to kind of retreat with your face. You're still facing the raptors, correct? Okay. You back all the way through the valley, and the one raptor seems to be following you. The rest have remained in the tall grass, and he's just kind of skittering and skittering. And every once in a while, you hear from back up the valley that kind of echoing, ow, ow. And it appears that the one that's following you is either not meant to or isn't answering.
Okay, I don't want to get bowled over, charged by these other creatures, though, so I'm going to stand my ground at this point. And if at any point it comes up close enough that I actually can make contact with it, I will swing my sword down on him.
Okay. The one that's following you is staying 20 to 25 feet back at all times. It's not kind of entering that bubble. It's like it's giving you a halo, and it's keeping pretty close to right outside of that halo, but it's not advancing within melee distance or anywhere close to that. As you back up, you realize that the creatures that are on the plains, the large fanned creatures, turn and look at you, and you see them kind of snort and as they kind of search around for something. Would you like to go stealth?
I'll give it a try.
Sure. You rolled a disadvantage because you're heavy armor, but that's okay.
I don't think it's even worth it at this point.
It's always worth it. See,
10's not actually that bad.
It's not.
Disadvantage.
Not when the DC is where it is. So you're able to kind of slow yourself down and back through the plains. And the one that was looking around goes back to rooting through the ground and pulling up whatever it's eating. You appears to be some type of vegetation. I'll let you roll a perception check at this time, please. Okay, 9 perception.
Yeah,
At this
9.
point, yeah, you don't see anything, but you hear what appears to be the sound of whatever it was that picked up Quinn before. You hear that distant, and it is coming from the same direction that Quinn was, you last saw Quinn. So you're able to reorient yourself using sound, you believe.
Okay. I'm gonna keep the sword out and just carry it hilt on my shoulder because I'm not sure what's gonna attack me and what's not here. So
Okay.
Going to stay within the big group of Triceratops creatures. Gonna try to weave my way through in that direction. Still nice and slow. I'm not gonna sprint now and try to spook them. I'm gonna meander towards the direction I think I need to go in.
Okay, because you're going slow, even though you walk a couple times, you're pretty close to these large creatures. They kind of look up every once in a while and go back to eating. You're able to weave yourself across, and every once in a while, you catch in your periphery towards the outside of this area. You see your blue-skinned friend running to a rock and running to a rock, and in the very distance now, you can hear an occasional, but it's getting very distant at this point. We're going to cut back to our two guys that are witnessing what appears to be a sacrifice. You see a creature.
Big deal.
Yep. 3 lizard type creatures. One of them dressed in robes, ready to kill a humanoid boy. You also just heard a terrifying scream from the opposite side of the chamber. It sounded sort of like,
It.
There's 3 lizard-like people.
There are.
Let's see what happened.
Grob is totally for saving the kid. The kid is alive, correct?
You can see him struggling. Yes.
Yeah. How old
He's
is the kid?
gagged and maybe 7.
Okay. Yeah, I let him die. No, I'm kidding. In that case, if there's a child involved, then I am going to throw a javelin at the guy with a knife, and just whisper to Hezekiah, "We gotta let that boy die!" And unsling the javelin and just kind of little run up leap to aim at the guy. Let's see.
Nice.
Jav is a +7.
I thought you were whispering after you threw the javelin. Like you
doing it-
throw the javelin and you're like,
Oh, quick!
Right.
It's only a 10.
Okay, so as it goes wide, the javelin clatters to the ground, but it stops the creature for a second as it turns and looks up, and it turns and you see it say, and the 2 other ones turn around and they are surprised. So Hezekiah, you have a chance to do something.
Yeah.
Sweet. So Hezekiah, following Grob's lead, he rushes over and he unleashes his what do you call it? His rapier. And as he pulls it out, the whole blade looks like it's crystalline. And as he does, it ignites in green flame, and he brings it down on one of the lizard people. As I use the green flame blade and attack this guy with a 23.
That's gonna do something.
So he takes 4 piercing damage, and the person immediately next to him takes 2 fire damage as fire leaps from the blade onto the man next to him.
Nice. Lovely.
I love her.
Okay, let's roll some initiative with you guys, and I would also like perception checks from both of you.
All right, I'll give you the initiative first. Initiative is nat 1. Fuck. Perception is a 9. Wow, my rolls are pretty jeffed. Pretty jeffed.
Both of mine are 11.
Well, like one
There we
one
go.
better than average for you.
Yep.
Okay, so as you guys turn to face these creatures, as you're now on equal ground with them, let's cut back to the bear. I need a athletics check from you, sir, to maintain your grip or prepare to drop.
or die. Or just die. Athletics as bear is... Okay. So I've got +4.
Yeah, the blade does look like it's made out of diamond. That is true, Kalashnikov. Pretty badass looking blade.
12. Not
Okay.
great.
You're able to reach your claw out and you grab hold of that outcropping of rock that was 10 feet away from the nest outcropping, and you're able to pull your bear form, scraping your bottom legs underneath, and pull up over as you splash to the side and kind of throw the weight of the bulk of the bear onto this ledge. At this moment, as a bear, you look up and you see what appears to be a well-dressed half-elf in a rapier with a glowing green rapier and a diamond sword standing side by side, a formerly bespeckled half-orc, as they are surrounded by 3 lizard people. And also at this point, a man in shining armor is making his way into what appears to be the entrance of this same tunnel network. And I think there would be a good place to end it for this evening.
God damn.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Shit! We're so screwed.
Well done.
Yeah, well done. That was awesome. That was fantastic.
I have a raptor crush. Hopefully he's a reoccurring character.
Right? I have every dinosaur sound crush at the moment. I love them all. But yes, my friends, we are going to wrap up tonight's session. The first episode of the Prelude. We got 2 of these episodes, which are Prelude, and then the 3rd week will be the official Tomb of Annihilation content. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I know I certainly have had a absolute blast playing with these guys. Hats off, if I had one. Or just, in fact, just have a hat to Greg for DMing. Fantastic work. I love this game. All the sound effects were fantastic. Super immersive. super great pacing, and a joy all around. Let's go around to cast and crew. What do we think of tonight's show? Where can we find you guys online? Of course, if you guys did enjoy the show in chat, hit that follow button and join us, and let us know what you thought as well. Some lovely comments going around in chat. Let's all have a little circle jerk about how great everyone is. Let's start with Greg, my friend. What do you think?
Oh, I had a blast, man. This is the most I think I've ever talked on an encounter roleplay episode.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I'm like, how this guy talks this much? Like,
right. Yeah, I had a blast. The good thing about this, and I want to give a quick plug here if I can.
yeah.
This is actually a DM's Guild module called Struggle in Three-Horn Valley, and it's by PD Publishing, I believe. It's currently, and as of a few days ago, I believe it was just a couple dollars on DM's Guild. I get a lot of junk from DM's Guild. This isn't it. This is a really good, really well-paced, really, it's got great graphics, great image content in it. I highly recommend it, especially if anybody's thinking about playing Tomb of Annihilation. This is designed to be a JV version of that, to get people used to certain environmental mechanics and dealing with the dinosaurs and things like that. Really, really great. I love it. And I'm not being told to say that. It's just actually good.
At gunpoint.
Right. But anyway, yeah, my name's Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter. Follow me for nerd stuff. I will be back on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesday from 1 to 4 for a brand new revamped season of Call of Cthulhu. We retired my good boy Pat last week, but I have a feeling it's still where it's at. And then Wednesday night, because I can't get a fucking enough of RP, I'm going from 8 to 11 on our very own Mike's channel, doing a little Blades in the Dark, which is, if you haven't picked it up and checked it out, John Harper made a fantastic RPG. But yeah, I'll see you guys here next week, and had a blast. Great time.
Fantastic. You guys can find a link to Struggle in Freehorn Valley there in chat, and I'll put that in the YouTube description as well. Fantastic. Mike! You.
That's me.
You.
I didn't suck today, guys.
No. Bad.
I was adequate at best, which is the most we can hope for, really, these days. Amazing session. I RP'd with Greg last season on Middle Earth. I RP'd with him, like you said, on Wednesdays on the Blades in the Dark 6 and 20 game. So this is my first time with him as a DM at the helm, and amazing. As everyone said, the dinosaur noises caught everyone off guard, and they were on point. You were the sole voice actor in Jurassic Park, I believe. Make a Fiverr account, and you just do dinosaur noises all the time.
Yeah.
You can make money making dinosaur noises, I promise. Someone will pay for it.
Yep.
Someone will pay for it. So I had a blast. I love the game already. This is pretty cool. I'm actually writing a character backstory for this guy, and I hope he doesn't die. I know Josh will make sure that happens. But yeah, if you guys want to see more Mildly Mug, you can see me here every Monday. You can go over to my channel on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays and see me role playing there right after these guys.
Absolutely. Channel link is there, my friends. Strider, yourself.
Hey, that was great. Playing with Josh and Mike was not nearly as bad as everyone made it out to be. As for our DM, that was fantastic. Really have to compliment the pacing. Every time there's focus on one group, he'd change it just to the perfect time. The Raptor scene, he was able to get my adrenaline going, and as a veteran player for over a decade, that's always a great feeling when someone can actually bring that forth again. And Rurik too. He's I have his entire life story written down, and he's a big derp, so he's great to play. I'm gonna be I'm on the writing staff for Encounter Roleplay, so you can see my articles for adventures on Fridays. I'm gonna be here every week, and then on Sundays also playing another Call of Cthulhu, Pulp Cthulhu with Greg. And if he DMs that even half as well as this, it's gonna be fantastic.
Awesome. You can check out the new website there. You can check out some of Strider's articles. There's a ton of articles up on there. You can download the magazine. Man, it's a fest. Josh, last and this week, perhaps most least.
Yeah, It's not been a good day. It's not been a good episode. But at
Everyone
the
likes
same
shit
time,
too,
it's
Jules.
been an amazing episode. Yeah, I was not ready for those noises that Greg made. I've heard Greg make some strange noises over the time I've spent playing with him, but that was new. I am dubious at best of survivability chances. I'm already coming up with my next character. I feel it might be prudent considering how fucking terribly it's going right now for me. So yeah, you can find me here today as you already have. Good for you. Well done. And you can find me here tomorrow as well. At the same time, we'll be playing Long March, where the party is finally back together. Things are going absolutely fine, and no terrible things happened right at the end of the episode with much controversy. No, it's all good. Don't worry, everything will be fine. But if you want to find out more about sort of crazy things that'll probably just be doom and destruction and murder the entire time, then check out Turncloaks.
Yes, do it. Do it. The podcast is a podcast. Podcast is podcast.
Is it a podcast? Is it a podcast? That thing?
I'm trying to think of a link. Yeah, you can listen to Turncloaks' new episode. Episode 2 came out today. Wonder Quest launched. It's our all-gal game you can find on EncounterRoleplay.com. Shortly be on iTunes as well, but you can catch it on all your podcasting feeds in the meantime as well. You should definitely go check that out. It's the first episode launched today. Check out the new website, download the new free e-magazine, got a bunch of encounters, maps. In fact, Greg's got a paladin oath that you can read and download in there as well. We have an interview with author and soon to be on the show, Grant Ellis. And yeah, I'm so happy that today's launch went so well. You won't believe the lack of sleep I've had the past 2 weeks, the amount of work we put in on the website, the team have put in, the new shows, the new seasons, it's just fantastic. And thank you so much to you guys who've showed up today. Thank you to everybody who subscribed today as well. A lot of subscribers. Thank you to everybody who donated, cheered, just showed up today. It was a fantastic showing. And I look forward to tomorrow's beginning of the new season, but really picking up from where we left off quite a lot with The Long March. And then, of course, Wednesday is our new Call of Cthulhu season. Oh, man, that's going to be a good one. And then following that, we have... God, what do we have on Wednesdays? Man, my mind is just dead at this point. But there's another good show happening Wednesday. It's Curse of Strahd. It's episode 1 of Curse of Strahd. That's what it is. Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, is Brave New Worlds of Grant Ellis and a fantastic crew. And in fact, what we're going to go do now is going to meet one of our latest cast members. Her name is Madame Gandalf. You can find her on Twitch. We're going to go host her. I'm going to go raid her. She's a fantastic person. She's going to be playing, I believe, a half merfolk sorcerer. So we're going to go ask her about her character, and we'll see you on Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys again so much, and of course, until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be here laughing when you do. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4. Good night, everybody.